Welcome back to the Schmoedown replay. What's going on, guys? We are the Cinefanatics. My name is Chris Adams.
No, I'm Robert Adams.
We're joined by Alex Mack from Call to Action. She is going to hang out with us on this reaction. How are you doing, Alex?
I'm pretty damn spiffy. That's what I'm doing. How are you doing?
Same.
So we've got Rocha versus Erwin. The winner of this takes on Dan Murrell.
For the belt.
For the belt.
So we got number one contenders here. Now, this isn't going to be a 5-rounder. I believe it's only tournament finale number one contenders that are 5-rounders. So don't stress, everybody. We only got 3 rounds on this one. But it's still going to be a pretty intense one because it's Rocha and Erwin. Who do we got?
I would still have to say I would have to side with Rocha on this.
I too think Rocha is maybe the slightly more dangerous competitor here. Ethan is one of those, again, who, like Alonzo and Whitney, he knows what he knows. He doesn't necessarily study. He doesn't have time to study. He just happens to know a lot.
I'm at least hoping he's watched Peter Pan by now.
Maybe.
Peter Pan or like Pan or Peter Pan?
Any Peter Pan related content. Go with Hook. I mean, if you want to go and watch the Mary Martin Peter Pan stage performance that was filmed in a movie made for TV, that would be fantastic also.
I love that movie. That movie was like my jam for like so many years. I was obsessed with that one. Oh my God.
I was the kid who was like,
wow.
Why is Peter Pan a woman all of a sudden? That was weird. Oh, okay.
Historically in theater.
Yeah. And then I grew up and I understood it. But I mean, as a kid, you're like, oh, I don't have any common sense of like how theater works.
Yeah.
So
yeah, not kidding.
Alex, who do you got on this one?
I really don't know. I really say, as his co-host, and everything on Rocha Mondays and Fridays, just where we talk about movie news, is starting at 10:30 Central. Hey, I definitely want to say John Rocha. Like I said earlier, when we were talking about with Polyama, full of active knowledge, actively studying and everything. Ethan, he works in the industry. He's a movie producer. He talks with these people like casually all the time. So obviously that knowledge is there. I love me an upset, so I'm just going to go with Ethan because I love upsets.
Guys, you saw it here first on our channel. Alex is no longer going to be co-hosting with John Rocha.
I mentioned it to him on thing. I in my head, I feel like I'm like 95% sure Rocha's going to win. I will never, regardless of what league he's going into. He can go into Star Wars, and I'm like, he's probably going to contend for the championships because of Rocha. When he goes in, he goes all in. But I love upsets. They're my favorite matches of all time. And I'm just going to go with my heart on this instead of my head. So, don't take words out of my mouth. Come on now.
Guys, you heard it here first. Alex's heart is no longer going to be co-hosting on Mornings with Outlaw.
Which, here's the thing. I would like to think that this is actually probably the best opportunity for us to announce what both me and my brother have been working on. We will be the new co-hosts of Morning with the Outlaw. Starting very soon, because who knows when this video is going to be on YouTube. So
stop.
Anyways, just kidding. Unless Rocha wants us to. No, never mind. Anyways, so this has been a long stream already. Let's get into this match because I want to see how this is going to go.
It's late and my brain is ready to answer more questions. Let's do it.
Well, absolutely.
Where my board at?
Where my board at?
Now comes the moment of the show where we erase the board from the previous match. Still love that graphic, though. Still an awesome graphic.
Great graphic.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Skybound.
Christian, you guys unmute.
Yeah, y'all are on mute. There you go.
Almost there.
Come on, David.
Well, we can't hear Christian, but as soon as he turns his microphone on, we will. In the meantime, this is the golden throw to Mark Ellis. Molly is taking a toy pee break, but we are here. We are ready. And Christian, the headlining match is upon us.
It is a massive main
happening?
event, and not
He
only
did
is
that
it a
on
massive main
purpose.
event, it's a massive months of movie trivia Schmoedown. So much
It's live,
exciting
guys.
stuff
It's
coming
live,
your way. What a time it is to be a patron. For those people, there are a lot of people right now who are watching this live who upped to the $10 tier. Why is that the most bang for your buck that you get? Because you just saw that promo there for Kevin Smets, who's coming back against Chandru. And now you have the Pride versus Final Exam. That all happens next week, August 7th. You're a $10 patron, you get that. And then the following week, you're going to have
We did skip ahead a little bit just to save some time.
against whoever wins here tonight.
Apparently, there's matches coming up this month.
Other great matches.
If you guys watched the actual video, you saw the
team's title match.
you saw the promos for those, and those are worth
$10 tier.
worth getting on that Patreon for.
Keep in mind, every Friday
go and do that for sure.
in August,
And
there's
the singles tournament that's coming
except
up.
for the final
That all
Friday, I
starts
believe.
on
All the
Monday.
other Fridays,
Playing
there's a
matches
pay-per-view
all
match.
begin
$10
on Monday, and then we're gonna
for
have
1 month.
You
four
can either
matches per
buy them
week,
all
plus a
individually
pay-per-view
or hop on the
Friday.
Patreon
And
for
then on
$10.
August 27th, it's a massive
course.
event.
Again, by the time
undercard.
this video's on
You can call it
YouTube,
an undercard. Let's
You
call
will-
it a
yeah,
co-main
you-
event.
Oh my God.
Andrew
Guys,
Guy versus Ben Bateman to the Action Army.
Chandru
the
versus
Action
Smets?
Civil War.
Smets.
It comes
Oh,
to a
sorry,
head in the
Jericho
number one
versus
contender match
Oh, Jericho versus
on
Smith.
August 27th in the
Smith.
undercard of the
I wanna go
biggest
Smith.
main event
I wanna
we
go
have
Jericho.
ever had in the
I know nothing
Schmoedown.
about it, and I'm
Chris
interested in.
Jericho, Le Champion.
I
the
don't know what
AEW
Jericho knows. I
AEW
don't know how
champion
good his
going
movie
up
knowledge
against
actually is.
Kevin
Smith.
Smith,
He,
the
I
silent
like
one
when I feel
himself.
like he goes on.
Kevin Smith. That's right. It's
I
a
haven't
dream to just say
seen
it.
him
And it
personally.
all goes down on
He's knowledgeable about
youtube.com/.
he's
The
very knowledgeable on
Schmoedown.
certain things.
Check it out. What a massive event it is, Mark.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't-
it's going to be so much fun. Chris Jericho and I share a love of hard
I go with
rock and
Smith
heavy
just 'cause
metal
he works
music,
with
and Kevin
movies,
Smith and I
so
share the
I feel like
same
that's the
taste.
edge.
And so that tournament Christian's talking about.
No,
starts
the edge is
August
someone else.
10th,
No,
and we're going to start that
that's
Pride
another
on that
wrestler.
Monday. But
So,
Christian,
yeah.
when you look at the landscape of everything going on in the
I
Schmoedown
follow
right now,
wrestling.
you know how we used to talk about doing movie
know
reviews on
nothing about
shows?
wrestling.
How
I've never
August
seen a
is kind of
single
that lame
wrestling
month
match
where
out there.
some movies kind of go to die.
Yeah, right.
Look, we'd love to go see
The
any movie
Undertaker
in
lives
any
here.
theater in August. Probably not going to get that
That's true.
opportunity, but August it's going to get hot,
Mark
it's gonna
Henry.
get scintillating.
I believe
and
he
it's
also
gonna
lives
get
here.
scalding because of the movie.
I believe
yeah.
I checked him out at Toys R Us way back in the day when I worked at Toys R Us. So
Why are you checking out Mark Henry? I mean, he's a big dude. He looks good, but I mean,
toys for his kid.
Live, the only negative
Oh,
back,
like
Christian, not
ringing
one
him up.
person has
He's a
entered the
scary,
win-a-day
scary man
with
too,
the
because he's a big
contest
guy.
as of now.
Well, they won't win that, but you know what's up to win tonight is points.
Coulda crushed
for the
me.
Factions. Now, if you look at the current standings as they are,
Hi, sir. Would you like to
today,
sign up for
Mark,
the
and
credit card?
especially
No,
after
no.
that
Okay,
win
no, no, no,
by
no. It's
Swag,
okay. You don't have to sign
current
for the credit
standings
card.
are the following. We are going to have the Finstock Exchange, who's still in first place.
Barely.
Corruption, 27 points. Swag with those 2 big points, 24. The match here tonight is a number one contender match. It's 3 rounds. The regular match is worth 2 points. Unless, of course, you get a knockout, then it's worth 3. If John Rocha wins here today, they would find themselves now with 31 points. And the usual suspects, they need this. They need it to just tie and
Yes,
get into
they
7th and 8th. They need it, but they need
They're
it for a
desperate
lot of
for
different
win.
reasons. And
Yeah.
to be able to knock John Rocha out of here, because if
It's just so
Ethan
weird
wins, he gets that big
having someone
rematch.
literally at
against Dan
bottom
Merle.
of the
Remember,
thing.
Ethan was on a tear.
very
Dan
top.
Merle took Ethan out in New York, and
Making
Ethan hasn't
it
really been the
that
same
would
in the
really
singles
make it
division
that much more
since.
difficult.
John
If-
Rocha, on the other hand, has been more
if
motivated,
that's
more
easy.
locked in than we've ever seen him. He's the team's champion now. He took out Paul Oyama in a TKO in the beginning of the season. John Rocha is locked in, but there's a thing about Ethan that I think, I don't know, but the way it looks, I think there's something that in the past has intimidated John. There's something about Ethan that intimidates John, but can he get over it tonight? Can he figure it out? Can he lock in? He's done it before. We've seen how many times there's something that's gotten in the way of the Outlaw, and what does the Outlaw do? He knocks it out of the way and he accomplishes it. But there was someone in the past that never happened, and that's the Patriots. Is Ethan the same as the Patriots? We're going to find out tonight.
Yeah, Christian, as we've seen, as the world of athletics,
Rocha's like,
slowly
why are
opens
you
its
bringing that
doors
up?
to their
Don't be upset,
competitors,
man.
you see, they're finding their footing pretty
Just-
quickly. Why? Because they've been in that white hot spotlight countless times. as has Ethan Erwin.
Jader.
So they've done it in the studio. They've done it on a live stage in front of thousands of screaming fans. I doubt that this new virtual situation is going to throw them off too much. The real question is, what is the 5-pointer that it's all going to come down to? I don't see another scenario playing out here. I think we're going down to the wire, partner.
Well, it is a long history between these two, so buckle up as you find out how Big Time and the Outlaw all came to
I don't have
be.
seatbelts
Are
on
you ready
this
for an epic
chair.
promo? Well,
Yeah.
check this one out.
People want to see this be legitimate. That means I got to defend it. And if I got to defend against you, I'm winning this damn belt again.
Yeah, I know Roka's gonna win. I know it's not. But oh my gosh,
I love this game. I love it to pieces. I'll
dude.
probably play it till I'm dead.
He's got just too much fire in his heart to.
Here's the deal. What do you
He's
know
gonna go down
about
swinging
me?
at least.
I do not stay down for too
You'll
long.
forever be involved in Schmoedown. You know, as a competitor, as
You
a
can't catch me on
hater,
the wrong cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's
you know,
behind
he's
me.
been there from the
No,
start.
I'm never
you know.
looking back. I'm
Yeah.
on the run.
He's just so passionate about it. I love that about him.
Don't ever doubt the Outlaw. I'm coming back in 2019 even stronger than ever.
Watch me now. Roll like from the gun.
He talks about retiring all the time. This fool is not retiring anytime soon. Get out of here.
Don't give up.
Christian talked about that. Like, he's going to step away. He's going to see other people, like, making a run for his belt, and he's going to be like, all right, no, I got to get back in there. There's no way.
I remember talking to him regarding. I reacted with him to like his first singles match of all time, when it was against Mance.
We got ourselves a
So-
match, boys and girls.
Ethan Erwin 2018, that was his year. He is described as one of those punchers. You got to be careful. Boom, out of nowhere, he'll knock you out. He's that good. He's a former champion for a reason.
I mean, we all remember the
So
last
dope.
time
I love
these
it.
two butted heads. I believe it ended in a TKO.
Really good players go away.
Tell you no.
Legends never die.
John Rocha, you know him, you love him. He's a legend.
Me,
Legends
John
die
Rocha,
all the time.
going
That's what
down.
I'm talking about.
You could see me beat him for a third time. First time in a TKO. The next time it was you and I versus Bibiani. This time I bring my little friend.
I love that he's a toy.
Questioned myself. I wondered if I still had the guts, the fire, the heart. I didn't know if my time was done. No, it was a good match. Ethan's a fantastic competitor. Apology to Sam Levine for not knowing that he was Hirschberg.
I'm not still mad about that. It's ridiculous that a belt was awarded that day.
The Outlaw Nation is coming. Get up! Get off your knees! Don't you quit now! We kicked the crap out of corruption.
Oh
And
god.
we beat
I love
Shazam
Sam.
and retained those belts.
Apparently
And
they
then
were
I beat
great.
Paul Oyama.
I thought
Say
it was
no legend when you
I
see
like
one.
they both did it's like yeah. But no, neither one of them actually did.
Don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force and I can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now.
John Rocha and Big Time Ethan Erwin. It goes down.
Look, you're a legend. You're a champ, but you're also old school. This is the new school, baby. Me and my pal, we're taking you down. Have a good time, Outlaw.
All I can tell you is that I'll be ready to fight. And I've never been ready to fight against Ethan 100%. And I know I'll be ready on that day. So win or lose, I'll have nothing to hang my head about. I'll be ready to fight him when the time
God,
comes.
it's like an
So
old
you're going to get the best match I've ever given anybody in the history of the Schmoedown. It's going to be a whole nation of
every
outlaws
match
that you're going to be
is the best
facing.
match of all time.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Watch me now. Roll like fun, I'm gonna save the ground. Can't stop me now. Don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now. Watch me now.
I love how that promo was so heavy with Rocha. It was like a good 70% Rocha.
That's what I was wondering. Like, what's the weighing outcome on that?
Yeah. I mean, considering how long he's been a competitor, it makes sense. You know, he's been huge and he's with the winning
I
factor.
mean, come on. That is like, I feel like I'm in Vegas at the MGM about 3 years ago because I want to be responsible. It is that kind of atmosphere. Holy crap. Both of these guys are just mega trivia players, and to have all the history, a legend like John Rocha, a power player like Ethan Erwin, the factions battling right here, to find out also in the drama of Sabrina Ramirez right now watching.
Yeah,
Jen
that's the other
Kemp
thing.
watching to find out their fate.
Do they get to go into the tournament or not?
Sabrina going to be in the tournament?
Yeah,
if
Sabrina's
Rocha
like,
wins tonight, she
yeah,
will be.
100%.
This is nuts. This is there's so much on the line right now, and obviously the biggest thing, whoever wins goes to play Dan Murrell in 2 or 3 weeks from now for the championship. The stakes could be higher.
Christian, it seems like every time we get one of those promos, we always tip our cap to Nerd Chronic Eric.
Oh.
That might have been his opus, and he had a lot of raw clay to work with. There's so much history between these two gentlemen. And I'm going to go further back than even just in the movie Trivia Schmoedown and all 7 seasons of that. Ethan works in the movie industry. He knows the ins and outs of the business. John Rocha has done every odd job and starred in the number of projects that pertain to movies, and so they live this stuff. They eat, sleep, breathe
And
it.
Minute
They
Maid
have
boost
since they were
juice.
little kids, as long ago as that may
Oops.
be. Christian,
Oops.
it almost
Someone
seems
forgot to
like
boost.
Their entire lives have all led to this moment right here.
I
on
can't
a
do it as
show
good as he
hosted
does.
by 2 guys
No,
in the
and no one
garage.
should.
Well,
Never
they both
will.
Are very excited to have this match. They've both been pumped up about it. They've been on backstage, they've been on promo shows, they've been tweeting about it. They're all ready. And the two people who are really ready right now are the managers on separate sides right now in the standings. You have the manager of the first place team here of the Finstock Exchange, Bobby Gucci, and
Oh,
the
good Lord.
former singles champion of the world and former teams champion, a legend in his own right, and the manager of the Usual Suspects. He is Sam Levine, the inglorious one. Sam, I got to start with you. You made a big move here to get Ethan Erwin on your squad. You didn't get him. He had said many times he thought you were going
Youngest
to draft
guy
him right
here.
away. You didn't draft him, but you wound up getting him anyway. How much of the plan rides on tonight?
You know, I mean, this is it. If, when Ethan wins this match, you know, we're just a hop, skip, and a jump away from a belt. And the Usual Suspects, this is a faction that deserves belts, and Ethan is a player who deserves belts. So this is definitely a big piece of the puzzle. I don't want to put too much on Ethan. You know, it's not the only piece, but it's a big piece, and I feel extremely confident about this match. This is going to be devastating, and my apologies in advance. You're supposed to be nice to your elders, and you know, it's going to get ugly.
Oh,
Tom, you know sports as well as I do. The lineage of sports is littered with great players who just couldn't really cut it as coaches, and yet sometimes it's the last player on the roster who never saw action that becomes the great coach. Sam was a great player. You, as a player, are the equivalent of blowing your knee out day one of training camp. So why have you been such a better manager than Sam Levine?
I just instill confidence in my players. You know,
That's real.
he teaches them how to spell every once in a while. That's
Oh,
about
I
it.
love Mark
I instill
Ellis.
confidence. Hence why we're in the you know, the lead here. You know, like I said,
That's
Ethan could show his little doll here and there, but is he going to be on Mount Rushmore? I don't think so. He's a great player. Sam's a great player. John's a legend. Big difference.
What the big difference here, though, Bobby, is that this match right now, if you win, it will be the second time that the Finstock Exchange will be playing for the singles championship, and it sets up the epic rematch between Rocha and Murrell. However, if you lose, it sends John into the singles tournament, and it also allows Corruption a chance to solely take first place. Does that stuff weigh in your mind? Do you just focus at the task at hand? Is it a little bit of column A, column B?
I mean, does it surprise you we're going to play twice for the championship? The same faction? It shouldn't surprise anybody. We have the best players in the league. That's just the bottom line. Yeah, Corruption's creeping up in the standings. So swag. Doesn't really make a difference. The horses are out of the stable. They're at the starting gate. We're ready to rock. Let's put it that way.
Is that like a
All right. So last question here for Sam Levine as we
I think it's got like a light
So
in it.
question here: should he win? He is
Or has like
going
holes in
with
it.
Dan Merle. Now you've both played against
Well,
Dan. You both
It's got like
have
little
been defeated
bumpies.
by Dan Merle.
Little
Is
bumpy
that another
parts.
thing? Is it incentive to get to the
like a
championship of a Dan
dog
Merle, almost putting the
Yeah.
Drago on the mirror, or is it just like same kind of question? Let's focus on the task at hand. Let's take out John. You have beaten
much
John.
distracting now it
Maybe
is.
a little bit of an incentive there.
No, absolutely. I mean, the strategy I tell everyone is, you take it one match at a time. Don't think about your match after this. You think about the match you're in. Don't lose focus. But the fact that Ethan and Dan have gone, played twice now, and it's gone, one way for each of them. Everyone wants to see that rubber match. So sure, I personally, as a fan, I want to watch that match. But today, it's absolutely about taking down Mr. John Rocha, and I feel very confident in Ethan's ability to do that since kind of already done it before. So,
all right, well, good. Oops. Sorry, Sam. All right, so good luck to both Sam Levine and to Gucci. Going to remove you here for a moment, there, gentlemen. All right, Mark. So, managers have spoken. Are you ready?
Yeah, I was, and now I'm just wondering what the connection between Tom and the Paul Hogan movie Flipper is, but I guess I'll get that answer in the post-match interview. It's time for the headlining match. Harloff, if you will.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the movie trivia Schmoedown. Introducing first.
I was getting my pen ready like you're about to actually start writing here. We got a minute still. Just sit back and relax. Well, not too far because I still got headphone cord.
The usual suspects.
About this far back.
With a record of
That looks awkward.
9 wins.
It's about par. It's about par for this channel.
4 defeats and 4
Oh yeah, this is very comfortable.
I'm surprised they're not going something
the former movie trivia Schmoedown champion of the world.
Like the movie, The Usual Suspects, like kind of like
Kind of like from the movie.
Erwin. The doll. Have you named the doll at this point?
I haven't yet. Let's see what happens after this match.
You really should. Ethan, listen, man, this has been something I know. I've known you for a very
small
long
time,
here,
Ethan
and
Erwin.
I've known how competitive you
call
are,
him
I know how knowledgeable you are, and you had this run
My joke was
in
better.
2018 where you just looked absolutely unstoppable. And then last year, I wouldn't say the tracks came off, but it wasn't the same type of performance. This year, you have that match against Jeff Snyder. You win it, and then you wind up getting traded to Sam Levine. How crucial has Sam Levine been in this approach to playing John Rocha?
He's been great. I mean, just someone of his caliber with his knowledge of not just movies, but of the game and strategy. When I first came into this, I was really just kind of brute force, pure knowledge. And, he's helped me, I think, come at it from a different perspective. So I still have the knowledge, but now I have some of the strategy as well.
Yeah, Ethan, my birthday was 24 days ago, and you said Iron Man would come visit. He didn't. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you about today. What I want to ask
did you go to that spot in Malibu?
No, I was in Hermosa.
Oh. I'll get back to you on this.
Well, that answers that.
Okay, well then I'll ask you this question. A lot of people have speculated, and Christian alluded to
a good bit.
much in his pregame words. Some people think you were able to get into John Rocha's head a little bit, to intimidate him and just weasel your way in between those ears and creep around and crawl and make him make an unusual mistake for a player of his caliber. Are you in his head right now?
I've been trying to be. I think so. I mean, look, he knows. You don't really have to use
such a nice guy.
History, and you can see what's happened when we've gotten together before. But I'll say, look, he has been studying. I know he's been studying with Barbarian, who's a friggin' genius. So who knows? But look, I'm excited to be able to face him again. He's a good guy.
Because him and Barbarian are actual
We're gonna have a lot of fun.
Friends.
All right, Ethan. Well, good luck to you. Going to put you in the waiting room while we bring in the Outlaw here. All right, big time.
He is like the one actually.
Erwin, this is going to be very, very exciting.
Wrong about that, but
and his opponent.
There it is.
Representing the Finstock Exchange. With a record of 15 wins, 9 defeats, and 4 knockouts. He is the former 2-time singles champion and the reigning movie trivia Schmoedown team champion of the world. He is the Outlaw John Rocha.
Ooh, what is that?
The Outlaw John Rocha.
It's got a Guy Fawkes
in his
pandemic mask.
In one of the
Oh, that's
biggest
awesome.
matches of his career. John, we see you there, ready for Ethan Erwin. This is massive. It's a big, big match for you. And how have you been? How you been feeling? How you've been, preparing for this match?
I don't know if you know this, Christian, but there's a coronavirus going on. So I'm preparing by wearing my mask and getting ready to survive against Ethan Erwin. That's what I'm doing against the usual suspects. And doing it for my team. That's what I'm doing. Hype for this match. I'm ready. Let's do this thing.
What's going on?
The main event. I know you've been promoting those rookies, Kevin Smith and Chris Jericho, but this is the headline event right here. The Outlaw
Those rookies, Chris Jericho and Kevin
going at
Smith.
it, one-on-one, mano-a-mano, toe-to-toe, glasses to glasses.
I love what's happening here.
Tonight. So get ready, everybody. Get hyped up, Outlaw Nation. Wake up, usual suspects, and let's get it on.
John Rocha being very safe, making sure he doesn't get COVID-19 in his eyeballs. John, look, you've had a number of different
Alex, you ready to switch over to Rocha yet?
And it's industry. You've done voiceover. You've acted.
I already told you. I know. I'm like
host
95%
numerous
certain he's going to
podcasts.
win.
You've
dude.
even done some stand-up. But you
gonna
always come
happen.
back home to the movie trivia Schmoedown.
Freaking
For
Richmond
all the
Bombers.
fans, and we have well over a theater's worth of people watching right now, and especially the newer fans, what is it about this sport that keeps you coming back for another bite at the apple?
Listen, from the beginning, Christian Harloff came to me and he said, "Hey, I'm doing this thing. I want you to be a part." I'm in. We didn't even finish the sentence. You know why? Because I love movies. I live, breathe.
I
eat,
love
sleep,
movies.
Crap movies. That's what I do.
I love watching
I live,
them.
It's in my blood. It's in my
I
veins.
love-
For the chance to prove my knowledge against the best, to go toe to toe against the
Now,
best.
something
It's
that
always
really
inspired
does,
me and motivated me and
it
brought
really
me
does
back
work
to
for me,
the spot
though,
on every
is
single
that
time. Christian will tell you.
I've actually chatted with him about this
way
before,
how many
is that
times because I love this
he
game so
really
much.
doesn't get
And
enough
sometimes I
recognition
go my
for
way
what
of
he
the
does.
questionable decisions by certain
He
somebody
is
on
such
the
a
field.
a
And I
great
still came
competitor.
back and won
People
belts, won
still
titles, and
really
finally defended one at the end of last
I
year.
feel
So
like
I'm on that Rushmore for a reason.
Yeah, he's good. He's not
But
great.
it
I'm like,
never ends for me
like,
proving
how can
that I
you
deserve to be on
that
that Rushmore. I always like to
thought
test
process
how
around
good I am against the best.
as a
And
competitor?
Ethan Erwin is one
Yeah.
of the best.
It's frustrating.
All right, John, one more question before we
you
start
may
this
not like
match up here, too.
him,
Obviously, we know how much is on the line, not only for the factions. This is a
starting,
new
you
thing
gotta
that,
respect
you've
the man.
been in these high-pressure situations before, these high-pressure
Respect what
matches.
he's done, where he's
Maybe
come
not- Maybe
from.
none with the
Yeah,
fact that he
that's
added
nothing, like,
faction.
If he
stress,
wasn't
the
in
Sabrina
Schmoedown,
Ramirez thing,
I don't know where we'd be,
her foot now
honestly.
in your hand, you know, you have that. You
That's-
have this potential. But
That's
the
very
big
true. I
thing,
mean,
as we all know, and I couldn't agree with
at
you more.
least part of this house
championships
is
in
the
this
house
thing
that
is
Rocha
everything.
built.
Faction points are great,
Yep,
but
not
championships
kidding. He's he's the one like between him and
today,
he was like the
he was
first
your
real
team
big
partner
competitor
who has
that had
been-
like a real
it was the biggest match we ever had. Is that in your head? You put that aside
there
for
was
the
no
moment,
other
or did it
characters.
help you motivate?
Yeah.
What is the
real
Dan
heel.
Merle match
There was
been
no one
like?
like him
The
until
thought
then.
process of it.
Where
going
there's
into this.
established storylines and
I'll
rivalry.
tell you what, I've been
He was also
excited
the
at the
first competitor
possibility, but this
that
feels like deja vu again, right?
actually
Remember,
studied.
just before Brooklyn, it
People
was
make
me and
fun of him
Ethan
for it.
for the title,
Yeah.
and I lost it, and he
He
went
started
on to
the whole
face
thing.
Dan. You know why? Because I was kind of nervous about it, looking ahead. All I'm thinking about is
He's
this
earned
match
the
in
moniker
front
of
me. That's
founding
the only
father.
thing I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Let all them talk about trilogies and rubber matches and all that kind of crap. I got no time for it. I'm here to play a match, take on Ethan Erwin, and if I beat him, then after the match, I can tell you exactly how I feel about the possibility of facing Dan Merle, but not until then.
All right. Well, thank you, John. We're going to move John, bring in both of them here. And just a reminder to all patrons right now, the winner and the winning manager will be in a Q&A with us afterwards. We'll be talking to patrons, and we will send out the link to you guys so you can be on camera with the winners and the winning manager at the end. That's for the $10 patrons and up.
That's right.
So
if you're a $10 patron, you get the chance to talk to movie star Sam Levine and big-time movie producer Ethan Erwin, or
and another reminder to people in the chat:
Rocha and Bobby Gucci.
No answers in the chat,
and
you
both
will be
are
removed
just
from the chat. We also remind the managers to have your
They're on
hands
equal
up
playing
while
fields.
you're watching, and make sure also that you are in the private chat and not the live chat. Both Gucci.
Based off of personal experience, I would say I'd be in it just for the Gucci alone.
John Rocha looks like he's doing a broadcast from his basement, and Ethan looks like
Because you're gonna get
disapproving
exactly what
father.
you're looking for.
In round number 1.
It's true.
Yeah, you're
8
gonna
questions from 8 different
love it.
corners of
Also,
movie trivia Schmoedown
it's
know-how.
so hard to get
Those
a
are asked to the field.
Like-
Each question's worth 1 point. There's no penalty for missing a
And
question. There's no
flabbergasted.
stealing,
Is
at least
he
not in
able to come on any like reactor
I'm pretty
shows?
sure you fellas already knew
Or
that. As soon as we ask the question, you have 15 seconds.
What
to
did
put down your
you
best
do?
attempt at an answer with whatever utensil you have handy
did you
on whatever
bribe?
whiteboard surface you prefer. Once we ask you by name or nickname to reveal your answer, please show what you wrote to your camera at the same time you verbalize your answer into the microphone. I'll remind each competitor of your 3 usages of the JTE rule throughout the duration of the match. If you're not sure you heard a question right, you want to buy yourself some more time, use a JTE rule. You also each have 1 challenge to be used at any point throughout the 3-round match. You as the competitor may initiate the challenge. It must be ratified by your managerial opponents. Christian, they're sat, they're ready to go. This is old hat, no pun intended, Rocha. They know how to do this. It's just a matter of who's going to do it a tiny bit better.
All right. Well, we asked the Outlaw, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Ethan, are you ready?
Always be closing.
Then let's get ready to Schmoedown.
Classic.
All right, round number 1, question number 1, gentlemen. Here it is.
That's so good.
Action adventure. Day of the Soldado is the subtitle of the sequel to what 2015 action thriller?
I think so.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I've never seen either one of these.
Hard to even want to talk right now.
My brain was like about to blank on the name of it.
Ready?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, please. We start with Rocha.
Sicario?
Yes, sir. Ethan.
Sicario.
1-1. Next
Sicario.
question. Mark.
Sicario.
Penmanship by both competitors early in
I like
the
to say
match.
things
All right,
incorrectly.
gentlemen.
Sicario.
Categories
Sicario.
80s movies. We all remember that decade somewhat. What 1984 comedy revolves around a college fraternity called Lambda Lambda Lambda?
Oh.
1984, a good year for a lot of stuff. Christian, where were you?
Ooh, and this movie does not hold up anymore.
No, it doesn't.
Not at all.
A million and one ways.
2, 1. Pens down. Pens down, please. Hands up. And Ethan.
Ooh, I couldn't write it. I said Animal House.
That's incorrect. And Rocha?
I know. Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah. You have
Oh.
it.
Yep. Revenge of the Nerds.
Got me.
Amanda.
Got me. I put Animal
All right,
House also.
Next question. Here it is. This is question number 3. In the world of dramas, who stars as Dr. Bennett Omalu in the 2015 drama Concussion?
Yeah.
So, you got some great posters of Schmoedown Past behind you there.
Yep. Yep.
That's a good
Oh, yeah. Shirewolf.
5,
Ugh.
I never
4,
saw
who's
this
the
movie.
boss? 3,
Mm.
2,
I can't remember who's in it.
1.
Yeah.
Pens down,
I got it.
please. And we start with Rocha.
Will Smith.
Yes, it is. Ethan?
Will Smith.
Correct. All right. So
Willard
3-2.
Smith.
Rocha has a 1-point lead as we get to question number 4.
They told the truth on that one. Your next question. Famous actors and
You
actors.
okay?
The question for a point. Which actor played the comic book characters
Will
Bruce Wayne and Adrian Toombs? You know, that Concussion, good football movie, Christian. Guess who just ordered $200 worth of Washington professional football men's
Hey, I
intramural
thought we
club
weren't going to have to
DC
answer any more IG
Me,
questions.
5.
You know, shut
4,
up. I know this one.
2, 1. Pens down, please. Pens down, please. And Erwin.
Michael Keaton.
Yes. Rocha.
Michael Keaton, son.
I was
Yes, it
distracted by my potentially.
Here is the next
Michael Keaton.
question.
Michael
The
Keaton.
next question. Number 5.
I just heard
is
Adrian
fantasy
Toombs.
Sci-fi.
No clue.
Who directed 2015's Tomorrowland?
Oh.
Tomorrow. Oh, yeah.
I know where you were in 2015. I don't need to ask.
I was with you.
You're shoving pretzel nubs in your face.
Oh yeah, back in the day. 5,
So good.
4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down,
think I'm
hands
wrong.
up. And John Rocha?
Brad Bird.
Yes. Ethan.
Oh, yes.
Brad Bird.
What a match it is. Exactly what we thought
Brad
it
Bird.
would be. 5, 4.
Yep, I was
as
wrong.
we get to our next question mark. It's question 6.
All right, this is in the category of comedies, and laughing ensues. Your question: James Franco and Seth Rogen traveled to what country to interview a dictator in the comedy The Interview?
Oh, come on. What kind of question
I
is
love the squeak, Christian. It's like the squeak of a shoe on a basketball court.
100% thinking the same thing. Well done. Well done.
It's a movie that like almost
5,
shut down the entire country.
3, 2.
It's the reason why we have Spider-Man in the
1.
MCU.
Hands down, hands up.
Yeah.
And Ethan.
North Korea.
Yes. John.
North Korea.
Yes, it is.
North Korea.
6-5. Rocha keeping that
Korea.
1-point lead, but Erwin right on his trail. Here is the next one. Horror thriller. What
That down?
iconic actor played Imhotep in 1932's The Mummy?
Oh,
I do have to issue an apology to everyone in the chat room, Christian. I brought up pretzel nubs.
1932?
And everyone just said they're hungry.
Wait,
Gonna
what?
paint them to know Christian used to dip them in
1932.
delicious nacho
1932?
cheese.
Oh, they're really good in
yeah,
Philadelphia.
the original
5,
1932.
4,
Oh,
3,
No clue.
2, 1. Pens down, please.
Oh,
And John
I don't know. Lon Chaney Jr.
no.
is incorrect. Ethan?
Boris Karloff.
Yes. Ethan ties
Wow.
the game
Boris
there.
Karloff.
6-6.
Yep.
Wow.
6-6 as we have a tie.
Christian Harloff.
The perfect round is no longer an option as we get to our next question, number 8. Final question in this round. Mark.
What I thought Christian's last name was for the first 5 years of our friendship. In the world of animated movies drawn by hand or on a computer.
Ellis
your
makes the
question
joke
for a
so much
point,
better than
gentlemen.
me.
Who composed the scores for all of the Toy Story films?
Oh,
Good question to close us out. Just about as perfect as you can get without being perfect.
Oh.
And here we go with 5,
I
4,
know what mine's
3,
wrong. I'm guessing.
2, 1.
Ooh.
Pens
Almost missed his first
down,
name.
please. Ethan.
Randy Newman.
Yeah.
Yes. John.
Ah,
Randy Newman.
7-7.
You've got a friend in me.
7-7.
Left foot,
And
right
that is
foot.
the end of
I
round number 1. Exactly what we thought it would be. Going to bring in the managers here. And now we get to the rules of round
This is a song from
number
Toy
2.
Story.
Round number 2. This is the singles format, which means
It's a song
round
from
number
Toy
2
Story.
is going to feature a wheel. Sure, fate, destiny, ultimately justice. But a spin at that wheel is going to yield a category where each competitor is going to hear
That's
4
right. I haven't finished that White Claw yet.
in said genre. Each question
seriously?
worth 2 points.
Shut
After the
up.
answer, you can ask for multiple choice. At that point, the value of the question goes down to 1. Why is that important? Well, stealing is available and in play for each and every question in round number 2. So, Christian, we have a sponsored wheel slice courtesy of one of our patrons,
get
that
a-
category is
Let's get a score
the
on this too when we come back,
amazingly
hopefully.
talented Viola Davis.
See where
If
we're at.
Somebody spins that and keeps it
Oh,
as
we're
the
doing
category.
sponsored
We're going
wheel
to say the
slices
name
now?
of that movie. Trivia Schmoedown Patreon member.
You haven't
Thank you
done
to
that in a
all
while.
of our supportive patrons.
All right. So we have ourselves a tie game.
Ooh.
John Rocha
Ooh,
is
it's
the
tired.
favorite
Oh,
here.
no.
So
what are
we
y'all
will
at? I'm at 6.
ask
6.
John
5.
and Gucci. You have 60 seconds to decide if you want to go first or second. Going to drop out Ethan and Sam here. And here we go.
First of all,
Ah.
great round.
Thank
Great
you, buddy.
round.
Boris
Fantastic
Karloff,
stuff.
man. Should have thought
Yeah.
you had a repeat on that one. Oh,
Lon Chaney Jr. Was in Trader Vic's. He had great hair.
Yeah.
Per Warren Z.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah, per Warren Z.
Those Werewolves of London. It's a Werewolves of London.
Great stuff.
Where did
let's-
Gucci
you know
pull
what
that
we'll
one
do
from?
here? You know,
Werewolves of London.
let's make him spin. Yeah, let's see
what
what
they
spin. Yeah, I like it.
Is that
Tom
fine? You're making
Dagnino
him spin
never
first?
ceases to amaze me.
he's
We're going.
All right. So we're gonna drop out Rocha and
Never.
Gooch and bring back Sam
Da
and
Gooch.
Ethan. Sam, you got 60 seconds to talk to Ethan starting now.
Hey, buddy, that was freaking great.
Hey, thanks.
No,
Hey, buddy.
I loved it. The fact that he couldn't go perfect, that's going to bother
I love
him
that Sam is his manager.
so much more
Yeah.
than it should.
Like
So, so just
Ethan-
enjoy that.
Ethan landed on the
Soak
right
that up.
faction for sure. Here.
Don't sweat the Revenge of the Nerds. You know, all 80s comedies are, interchangeable. At some
As
point,
interesting as
so
it would have been to see
take that.
Hardcore
Yeah.
fact.
So with
All right.
Drake.
Ken
all right,
Ken
Ethan,
manage him, but
Good.
that
No,
wouldn't
I'm
have worked
excited.
because
I mean,
Ken was part of the
wanted
trade.
to spin,
I
I
don't
always spin
think that
first, so
would've
I'm excited to do it. Let's
been
do it.
great.
Yeah,
though.
no, they give us a gift.
Ken's
Here's
not
the wheel.
a
The wheel is up, and here is the spin by
he's
Ethan.
there to help motivate and everything,
Round
but
goes.
training
Wheel.
goes and working on
It's impressive.
Viola Davis, Harrison Ford, I saw in there.
Yep. It,
Oh, look at that!
Ooh.
spinner's
Oh,
choice.
ho,
It is.
ho, ho.
Spinner's choice.
Spin it
Oh,
again.
heck.
So Ethan, you're gonna get.
It's been known to
you're gonna
happen.
get
All right.
your choice. Your 60 seconds to decide starting now.
It's a,
Well,
di-
Sam, obviously I should go with one of the ones I put on.
it's a
there.
digital wheel.
I
You can
feel-
spin it again
I
on
feel
spinner's
is-
choice. That's the
is
rules.
a smart move. I guess I'll do it. I'll do Catherine Bigelow.
Catherine Bigelow. All right, Catherine Bigelow.
I thought you'd say.
That's a choice.
All right, Sam, gonna
That
remove
is
you here.
the
We're gonna bring back John. All right, we're gonna get 4 questions in the realm of Catherine Bigelow. Mark.
Yes, we are. Catherine Bigelow, famed director. All right, Ethan, seem pretty confident in this category. I mean, you chose it for spinner's choice, so here
Zero
we
Dark
go.
30.
Your first question.
Did I get it?
2017's Detroit depicts real-life riots which occurred during what decade?
Ooh.
The 60s.
I'm going to assume you meant the 1960s.
I
and
did
yes,
mean the
that is 2
1960s.
points.
Oh.
The
I don't know. Should we
1860s.
challenge that, Tom? I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's true.
Could have been the
I hadn't thought of
1860s, the
That's true.
1760s. Mark should not be helping you answer the right.
Probably not
question.
the
That's a bit fishy,
1760s.
Christian. I don't know.
Are you doing?
I don't know if
official
Detroit
challenge?
existed
I
then.
mean, he didn't say 1960s.
I've seen-
but
we've seen
1960s
trailers.
is the answer. Tom, what do you think?
I put in for a challenge. That's not clarified.
No.
All right, we gotta pause
Yeah,
this
60s.
one.
That could be any
1360s.
decade.
We know
We've had
what it is.
19
That's
separate
no.
questions.
That's no.
Hold on.
All right. Well,
I mean, yeah, fine.
Wait.
challenge is up there. Challenge is up there. We're gonna.
All right.
All right. So here's the thing. Like, I'm wondering at what point in these questions do you have to lean towards common sense? Because I mean, we've all seen the trailer for this.
Yeah.
Obviously, this movie doesn't take place in the 1860s.
Yeah.
There's cops with like what could be considered still from 1960, like modern day cop uniforms. They're easily recognizable
Yeah.
as cops in like a modern type age. So therefore, I mean, obviously, if someone says the 60s, you have to the movie takes place 1960s.
I don't think they made this challenge to win the challenge. I think they issued this challenge to get in his head.
Yeah. It'd have to.
Ethan is a competitor you can't get in his head. However, I think this could hypothetically just by them issuing it because he would be like he might pull like a Brendan Meyer or a Dan Rural at the level of it. Who's like, what the heck? Like where that moment makes him break a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the route they take because if it is because they legitimately think that that's like a great thing to challenge, I'd be a little disappointed because to me it's a given. If they said something like going back to the Toy Story question, it would be like Newman. It would be like Newman. Well, you can't really say, well, I'm going to assume you meant Randy Newman or that's a very different thing. But I feel like when you assume 1960s, that to me is a given.
So this is a hard one because I mean it's a hard one. It's an easy one. I think you're right. I think that this is purely just meant to frustrate Ethan at this point, but it's a risk to do that at this time because this is still very early in the match. There could be something in round 3 that you probably should have held on to your challenge for. Now that being said, what is the logic behind whether or not they would rule this for or against? Plainly, yeah, that you could challenge it just based on the fact that he didn't give the full and complete correct answer. There are multiple decades that could be meant. Whereas if we really think about it, if we really look
Like
at
I
it,
said,
of course, he meant 1960s. Everybody knows that.
So the point to that
But how do you argue
exact
that?
thing, Easy, because when you're talking about like name that movie by John Carpenter that involves an alien in Antarctica taking over people's bodies and mimicking other living creatures.
Someone would say Thing.
Yes, exactly. Typically you might challenge it if this person says Thing when it's supposed to be The Thing. The difference there is no movie called Thing. The only movie is The Thing in that for that specific one. Now, granted, now we're talking about there's a difference in regards to the fact that they did that prequel thing that came out in 2011, but ignore that for just this example. Yeah, if you said Thing, they would accept it because obviously that's the movie you're talking about. So here, kind of the same thing. If you say 60s, obviously we know you're talking about the 1960s.
But I mean, in that consideration, are we going to go as far as to have to do the history lesson? Did the city of Detroit actually exist in the 1860s?
Yes.
Are we going to go that far and go that route with it?
I do think it's a ridiculous thing to have to prove, because it did exist in the 60s, in the 1860s. But it is a very ridiculous thing to kind of go into. However, thing is, if you're going up against a competitor like Ethan Erwin, you got to shoot your shot no matter how. I mean, like as often as you can, because he's gonna take you up to the ropes, and so even if you have a slight chance of getting it, who knows? And so it would be, the assumption would be like, maybe they don't actually win the challenge. Maybe it's like, okay, we're gonna give you a new question.
Yeah.
So
maybe.
So it could go in either direction, because I do understand where they're coming from. Again, I don't think this is like a true challenge. It's more of a psychological challenge, if anything. But also, 95% of the time, challenges go on when it comes to these matches. So
I think what we're going to end up seeing here is the challenge will not be ruled in their favor, but the reason being is because common language dictates that when we talk about the 60s, we are talking about the 1960s. No one ever refers to 1860s, 1760s when they say 60s. So I think that's what's probably going to end up happening here.
Unless you're a historian in a library or something where you're talking about that on a casual basis, no one casually out the 60s as in the 1860s.
Right.
Like, no.
Hey, you remember back in the 60s before we had electricity? Yeah.
I confer with myself and PJ and Mark.
See if I can head here. Sound effects are necessary.
Watch that this challenge thing was lasting the entire time that we just talked, and we could have just talked over it the whole time.
I've ruled that
and we are coming back here, ladies and gentlemen. We have officially made our decision here. Mark?
We have ruled that Rocha's out of the game. He's done. No, what we're ruling is as follows. Ethan responded with the answer of the 60s, and then me, the host, wanting to, move the game along, assumed it was the 1960s. Probably should have asked him for a clarification. I didn't, even though I think we all understood what Ethan was trying to say. Officially, he did not say the correct answer, and I gave it to him. So the only fair ruling is for John Rocha to retain his use of a challenge, and we will ask Ethan a new first question.
Wow.
No. That's ridiculous.
That's how it always goes.
You assisted him in answering that question. There were riots in the 1860s as well. It's not your job to infer our answers, or Hetty Headley would have counted. So this is ridiculous, or Alba Elba. Come on, like the 1960s is the correct answer.
Okay.
He said
very
60s.
different situation, my dude.
You can chalk it up to an answer error, or you can chalk it up to whatever you want. You keep your challenge, and Ethan gets a new question. You can call it my fault if you want.
If Sam was on the other side, he'd be losing his mind, but because it's this player, he's not doing that. But, all right, let's keep going.
All right. Going to remove
Psychological warfare
and
is
Bobby Finstock here. So start with a
fascinating
with a new question. This is question number 1.
Hey, you're right.
It is question number
new
1
question.
in the world of Catherine Bigelow. Ethan, Zero Dark 30 follows the real life mission to kill whom?
Saddam Hussein.
The Osama bin Laden.
Okay. One of someone out there.
Question number 2.
In May 2011. There you go.
All right, question number 2.
Ethan.
Yeah, Ethan's a little rattled.
Bigelow, which 4-time Oscar-nominated actor stars as a member of a motorcycle gang in Catherine Bigelow's 1981 directorial debut, The Loveless?
Willem Dafoe.
2 more points for Ethan, Christian. He knows this director well.
All right, question number 3.
Ethan, your penultimate question for Catherine Bigelow movies. What is the military rank of Jeremy Renner's character in The Hurt Locker?
Is he a captain?
Sergeant.
That is correct for 2 more points.
All right, here's the final question. Here you go.
All right, Ethan, you are sporting a perfect round so far, 6 points. And that puts you 6 points ahead of your competitor, John the Outlaw Rocha. To pad that by 2 more points. After appearing in Aliens, which actor played Jesse Hooker, the leader of a clan of vampires in 1987's Near Dark?
Lance Henriksen.
The great Lance Henriksen and Christian. That's a perfect round 2 for Ethan.
Jeez. All right, so we set ourselves 15-7. 15-7.
The unflappable Ethan Erwin.
Having a perfect round there.
Can't be flapped.
Ethan,
No,
we're
he
going
did.
to bring back Tootsie here. You got 60 seconds to talk to John. Bobby, starting now.
His response there was definitely a little bit of.
We're done with it. Let's move on.
Was out of emotion. He is rattled, but he's still.
Like it hasn't happened before.
The knowledge pushes through the rattle there.
Let's see.
That's insane.
All right, so you ready for the wheel?
That
All right,
speaks to the level of the competitor he is, though.
Yeah.
The what I'm wondering though is, did that backfire and did it rattle Rocha back?
Horror movies.
We'll spin again.
It's possible.
Well, if you're
not going to use a second.
challenge
All right, here's the spin. Here's the spin.
It's possible.
I
That's
think
the risk you take.
Really working out there would be opponent's choice. Everything else, Outlaw.
I know he's actually working on horror, so interesting.
Ooh,
that's
all right.
That's
Christian, can you clarify? Is it the 1990s?
It is the 1990s. 1990s, not the 1990s. All right, so we're going to remove.
It's the 1990s.
That's wrong.
I'm gonna drive to your house right now. You keep going. I'm gonna drive. I'm gonna get in the car. I'm gonna take a time out in the middle of this round.
Yeah, this is gonna affect him
So
later on
here
after
is
this
the
match.
category
We're gonna see
1690s.
we're gonna see people accusing that against him. 4th round Rocha. Is it the
All right, here we
60s?
go.
Was he
John,
born
you
in the 1760s?
Here it is. Frank Darabont directed Tom Hanks in which 1999?
Green Mile.
Yeah.
Yep.
I try to memorize directors and with the trio of movies.
The Green Mile.
Yeah.
Correct. For 2
So
points.
I remember who directed following
We can see both hands. Both of y'all the whole time. Both hands.
Sorry.
Yes,
Shawshank Redemption, Green
Yep.
Mile, and The Mist.
Question 2.
Yeah.
Who plays the lead and title character of the 1993 dramedy Dave?
Oh,
Klein.
Kevin Klein.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who played lead Kevin Klein?
I just
is
watched that
correct.
like last week too.
It's a good
Again,
one, right?
it's so good. I love that movie.
It's like a nice like fun one.
Population, having been relegated to living on ramshackle floating communities known as atolls.
Waterworld.
Oh,
I was like, yeah,
yeah.
the one with Kevin Costner.
Waterworld.
Yeah.
Perfect round and to tie Ethan.
Jean-Claude Van Damme plays twin brothers in which 1991 film?
Double take.
God.
I've never seen a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Double Impact.
That's correct for 2 points.
Double impact, not double take.
It is a double 15-15, double perfect round for the both of them.
Wow.
Unbelievable here.
We said this was going to happen.
It is a
Are we going overtime on
double
this?
perfect round in the 90s.
Sudden
was
death?
for Rocha, what
my
Catherine
gosh.
Bigelow was for Ethan Erwin. And now we
Could you
get to
imagine?
round number 3.
Yes, I can.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I can.
The rules, please.
It's like a matchup between Chad and Alex. The two.
I'm actually having a harder time not imagining it.
And in round number 3, this is the round that will
We're gonna see
determine
how
the
the
match.
3-5
We
pointers
round
go.
will go to sudden death overtime.
All the
In round
questions
number
they've been asked are a little are definitely surface level. So
1 to 20. You may not pick the same numbers
Outside of
as
a
your opponent. Once you settle on your lucky numbers,
actually, I do think that
movie trivia Schmoedown category.
Ethan was a tad harder, but it's all subjective.
This one's worth
Like
3 points.
Sergeant?
The last one, I think we will make it that far, is worth
I mean, it's
5
a multiple choice one, though,
biggest
honestly,
points
not
of
think
your
about it.
career.
Yeah.
Chris, who's picking their numbers first?
Well, John Rocha is the higher ranked at the moment. So, John?
9, 15, and 16.
9, 15, 16 for John. Excuse me, 9, 15, and 16 for John. And for Ethan?
I'll do 17, 1, and 7.
17, 1, and 7 for Ethan. Okay, because John will go second, then Gucci, you would talk to John for 60 seconds here starting now.
John.
What's up, brother?
Cool, calm, and collective. Finstock Exchange way.
Yep.
Let's put them away. Let's go home.
Cool, calm, and collected? Who are you?
Keep it down. You don't
That's
talk
like
to
the
him.
most anti-Gucci
You
thing
have
ever.
a sign to tell him what his name is behind him. I mean, I get it.
Who's
That
the
is-
one with a character? Who's the one with a little play doll of himself behind him?
God. Jeez.
That's fair. That's very fair, all things considering.
You have
I mean, at least have a poster.
60 collective, you have 60 collective seconds to talk here.
Point is, there's a lot of branding
Sam.
going on. Okay.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm great. That
Sam's
went
like, I
exactly-
got a green screen.
even with the
Yeah,
added little
you're good.
hiccup. It is funny that it does actually say 90s on the slice. So
On the
probably we-
wheel, yeah.
But it doesn't
That's
matter.
crazy.
It doesn't matter because
It's called cheaters proof.
yeah.
That's,
No, I
you're
feel
always
really
good.
good about it. I'm stoked
You
about
should
this.
feel great. John has a history of missing his 5-pointers, so no pressure on him for that.
Dang.
All right, is that everything?
We just had a
I'll
new
sit- yeah,
level
I'll
of
sit on the other
I mean, what
side.
else can I
mental
say?
warfare here where the
All right.
manager's
Drop
firing
Drop
off.
out the managers as there's
Jeez.
definitely shots being thrown here in the third round. All right, so we start with Ethan
Can
Erwin.
Sam Levine get in
We
John's
start
head
with Ethan Erwin. Mark,
with that
would you do the honors there?
little
with
quip
Ethan?
there?
Happy to, Christian. Ethan, for your 2-point question, you selected what number?
17.
17. And Doug Williams' number corresponds
Who?
to
Sports?
animated movies.
All right.
So movies.
Oh
drawn
man,
by-
really?
In Peter Pan.
Yeah,
2 points. And for a 2-point
in A Bug's
lead,
Life.
what Disney animated film follows a dangerous alien originally called Experiment 626?
Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch.
Young girl on Earth.
Lilo and Stitch.
Mm-hmm.
Christian, Ethan Erwin has a 2-point lead.
Where does
All right,
Experiment
so now
626?
John Rocha, who
I've never
chose
seen that movie.
John Rocha
Really?
Ohana
is family.
Ohana means
nobody gets left behind.
for number 9. Thriller. Here it is. All right. Okay. Who plays Kevin Wendell Crumb in 2017's Split?
James McAvoy.
Yes.
Pull the name. Pull the name.
So he's like the only main guy I can think of. Yeah.
Yeah.
3, 2.
James McAvoy.
Yes, for 2 more points. John Rocha ties it up, throws it back to Ethan now. Ethan needs to hit his 3-pointer. Category 1.
Hey, pause it real quick.
Christian went with number 1.
Yeah.
So, just real quick, let's have a little fun with this, shall we?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stream, Mr. One, John the Outlaw Rocha. What's going on, man?
What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Hey.
We are in the we're in the final round.
Why
I
is,
think
why is Ethan on the stream? Is he in here too? God damn it.
you're like, I gotta go through this again. So we're coming down to the few final questions here. So
All right.
I don't know if you want to watch it. Like we could get
I do.
some direct.
Give me a second.
Uh-huh.
Let me see if I can come in on my bigger computer so I can feel more comfortable walking through this. Give me about 30 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was
Nice.
perfectly timed.
Nice little surprise there. Well, nearly.
Yeah.
We just want to hold off and just wait for the rest of it for him.
Sure.
All right.
So yeah, this is a really good match. I mean, this is something we'll probably want to talk to him about after this is over. But like, just the
challenge.
Yeah, well, like challenges and stuff like that. Yeah.
How much did you hear about us talk about that challenge, Rocha? I gotta know.
Not much. I mean, honestly, as soon as I left this program, I went off and had some cheesecake, watched the first episode of Umbrella Academy season 2, and then drove over to El Segundo, which is 25 minutes away. My girlfriend and I having a couple of burgers out and just talking about things and relaxing. So trying to take them, but that doesn't mean I didn't punch the car door a couple times or punch the table in a moment of frustration in my head, reliving moments from this match, but not in an angry way, just more like, oh, I was so close kind of way. So, and I've spoken to no one on camera about this, but Robert was very kind a week ago to invite me to come on, and it was too raw to come on right afterwards, but I'm much more calmer now. So I'm happy to talk to you guys about what everyone talked about. It's very nice to see you, Alex and Chris.
Yeah. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
So I would say, since we're getting close to the end, let's go ahead and finish the match.
Oh, sure. Sounds great, Robert. Thanks.
Sorry, we don't know how it turns out. So I mean,
legitimately, we don't know.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? You don't know how it turns out?
Because we're reacting to it live right now.
Oh, okay.
I think we're going to your 3-point question, I believe.
Sounds
now.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys haven't watched the match at all?
Yeah.
This is it. This is it right here.
Sure, how you feel about your knowledge in the realm of dance movies?
We'll find out together.
Does that include music?
It'll be fun.
Yes.
Your question. For
Some
3
musicals.
points, and once again, for the lead in the world of dance. Which actress famously danced with Fred Astaire in the classic movies Top Hat, Swing Time, and Shall We Dance?
I mean,
Audrey Hepburn or
Three more
Leslie
points. Ethan
Ginger Rogers
ties it up. 2017 for Ethan. And now we get
maybe
to
the easiest
John
3-pointer
Rocha,
in the history
who
of
has to
time.
hit his 3-pointer, which is category number 15.
I mean, who doesn't know Ginger Rogers? For God's sake?
John, back to 90s movies. 90s movies.
Should have
for
been a
John
step-up
Rocha.
question.
1990s 3-pointer. Here it is. All right. Which 1995 film stars Antonio Banderas with
Desperado?
Selma Hayek?
Dusk Till Dawn.
3 more points, and we find
Desperado.
ourselves tied up here. 2020.
It said 95 and Antonio Banderas. I was like,
5-pointer.
This is already more than you got last time we played. So
Look at these digs. Look at these digs. The digs all night, him and Sam with the shots. I took no shots at their
Ethan
expense.
Erwin, and he has category number 7.
Yes, he does, Christian. Category number 7, Ethan. And that is Joe Theismann's number, and it also is the number of Disney movies.
Let's do it.
And he got
indeed.
animated and
The world
Disney
of
movies.
Disney.
Yeah. And dance.
And dance.
In what animated Disney film from the 2000s will you find the line, "For the last time, we did not order a giant trampoline"?
What? Meet the Robinsons?
2000s or 2010s?
2000s.
3.
Repeat the question.
First one.
Is Meet the Robinsons a Disney movie? I thought it was Universal.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
5 points and a 5
It's
point
Disney.
lead. In what animated Disney film from the 2000s will you find the line, "For the last time, we did not order a trampoline"? Order a giant trampoline is the line.
Yeah.
5.
That would probably be my closest guess, would be Meet the Robinsons.
Yeah. Categories Disney. In what animated Disney film from the 2000s will you find the line, "For the last time, we did not order a giant trampoline"?
Five, 4, 3.
Repeat.
Last one.
Categories Disney. In what animated Disney film from the 2000s will you find the line, "For the last time, we did not order a giant trampoline"?
This is rough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the one that got me in trouble last time, Meet the Robinsons.
It's incorrect. Looking for the Emperor's New Groove.
Oh.
So this is where
Yeah.
we stand. John Rocha
I don't
gets-
remember that line in that.
If he gets it, he wins it. He plays
Yeah.
Dan Murrell for the championship in 2 weeks. However, if he misses it, we go to sudden death. John, you chose category number 16. That is the realm of fantasy sci-fi.
Any other category that had a shot.
Sci-fi. All right. Here you go. In Men in Black, after chasing down a perceived criminal, Will Smith exclaims that NYPD stands for what?
Knock your punk ass down. I'm NYPD. I will not.
5-pointer if I ever heard one, though.
It is. It was.
That's such a hyper specific thing.
Quotes, man.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3.
I really love that line when I first heard it.
First one.
That's the thing with quotes.
All right,
You
here
either
it is.
like you know them or you don't know
In
them.
Men in Black,
Yeah.
after
I was
chasing
ready
down
for
a
you to be
perceived
like-
criminal, Will Smith exclaims that NYPD stands for what?
About the one driving the car. His wife is about to give birth.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I was expecting that question.
5,
Like a Rocha-ception going on right now.
3, 2,
Yeah.
1. Nothing.
Repeat.
No, you lost.
Yeah. I mean, I was never going to get it.
Punk ass down. We're going to sudden death.
Good job, Robert.
We're
Oh,
going to
thank you.
sudden death, ladies and gentlemen. Sudden
all I
death.
could think of was not your planet, dummy. That's all I can think of.
Mm.
You know.
That
And
doesn't seem
we are going to get into sudden death. Mark, how does it go?
For everyone keeping score at home, that's 2 Van Damme movie references now. In sudden death, round number 1, except obviously the stakes.
This match has officially gone off the rails with two Van Damme references.
Good question. Or I
That's
got
a
15 seconds.
rough
Your
question.
best
Both
attempt
of
at
the
an answer on the whiteboard in front of you. Once we ask you by name to reveal your answer, please show what you wrote to your camera. At the same time, you verbalize your answer into the microphone. Each question is worth 1 point. There's no penalty for missing a question. There is no stealing in sudden death. Now, why is it called a sudden death? Simple. If you both get the question right, we move on and ask another question under the same rules. If you both
This is a
miss
good
the
match, though.
Yeah, it
move
really
on,
is.
Ask another question under the same rules. If one of you gets the question correct and the other one misses, the correct answer or is the winner of the match.
All right, and with that, remember you had so it resets. You both have 1 challenge. You both have 1 repeat. That's it. You don't need any past things. So Ethan, you reset. You have 1 more.
Great.
Repeat. And same thing, John. You have 1 repeat. Same thing we're gonna do here. So Sam, you got 60 seconds to talk to Ethan starting now.
Dude, that was amazing that you got 3 categories that for most players are game stoppers, and you crushed those.
That for
three.
him
That
should have
last
been
one
game
was
stoppers.
impossible. So don't
Yeah.
If they were hard
don't lose any
questions.
sleep over that. Yeah, man, you got this.
I'm just waiting for PJ to pop out and be like, "That's entirely subjective, sir."
Not for real, not for real movie fans.
Thank you.
Ginger
All right.
Rogers.
And now
excuse
give you
me,
60
but
seconds starting now.
Mm-mm.
Look, some people's elixir can be some people's poison.
Sun Tzu.
Let's make it poison here.
Let's do it. All right. So
Was that
we
really
are
a Sun
going
Tzu
to
quote?
Thank you guys. We're going to drop you out here.
It sounds like
Let's
something.
drop out Gucci. Let's drop out.
Like the
all right.
art of war.
Gentlemen, are you ready? Ethan, excuse me, John.
That
are
man
you ready?
really does have a special kind of wisdom.
Ethan, are you ready?
Yeah.
Continue to always be closing.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. Who starred in the title role in Stanley Kubrick's Spartacus?
Oh,
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, we're writing down now.
They're squeaking, Christian, but it means a little bit more in this round.
I have it.
And
I know it. I'm not gonna write it down in time.
3, 2, 1. Pens down,
What is it?
please. John Rocha.
Probably.
Kirk Douglas.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
no, I have John Heston.
Douglas.
That is.
Oh, I said
correct.
Tony Curtis.
All right,
Really?
Mark, you want me to handle this? You got it.
I got it if you want.
Yeah.
Wasn't Tony Curtis was in that though, wasn't he?
If you like.
I've never seen Spartacus.
Your next query. In sudden death, you have 15 seconds for the answer. What 2009 film featured the film debut of Chris Hemsworth?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Film debut.
Yep.
Come on now. I thought we were moving into singles.
I thought we were done with IG.
Three.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Who's Ethan? Repeat. Go ahead.
It's me.
Oh, Rocha, repeat. Okay.
That is insulting.
One
What is
GT.
insulting?
Right, here we go. Let's go.
Dang it,
John,
Ethan.
What 2009 film featured the film debut of Chris Hemsworth?
That really was his first one, wasn't it?
John's
Wow.
one and only.
No clue.
That goes
And-
for the challenge.
Correct. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Ethan
Star Trek.
and John.
Star Trek.
Both correct.
Star Trek.
All right.
Yep.
Next question.
Yeah, you said
Here we go, everybody. Here's our next question. All right. Who directed 1982's Tootsie?
Oh.
This movie deserves so much more love
Yes, it does.
than it received.
5, 4,
I love me some Dustin
3,
Hoffman.
It's not like one of our dad's
2,
favorites, too.
1.
Yep.
Pens down, hands up. Pens down, hands up. And we start with John.
I'm probably
No,
wrong.
I wrote it, but
Donner?
I don't know if you can make it out. It just came at the last minute. Sidney Pollack. I don't know if you can make it out.
Oh yeah.
I can't see it. You got to put it right up to the thing there.
That was Pollock. I was trying to write Pollock at the bottom there, and Sydney at the top.
I can't give you that one.
Okay.
And
All right.
Ethan.
Sidney Pollack.
Yep.
And your
Oh,
winner, ladies and gentlemen,
Ah.
big time, Ethan Erwin. Ethan Erwin pulls it off. Wow, what a way to do it. John pulls it at the last second, just couldn't write it down. I'm going to remove Gucci and Rocha there. Wow, what a scrap that was.
It's a real squeaker. Real squeaker.
Sam, you've got to be stressed beyond belief there. Ethan going for the championship. Pretty nuts. It's shades of Jane Fonda all over again.
Oh,
Oof.
man. Stressed isn't the word.
Oh, come
I
on
have
now.
not looked at the live chat.
Kick him
but
while he's
I can
down.
only imagine what you're saying, what I've been
That's Christian
thinking.
for you.
Holy crap, those were some unbalanced levels of difficulty in those questions. So I am thrilled that Ethan pulled it out in spite of that imbalance. And that just shows what a strong player he is.
I'm
I am
challenging
so
you.
proud of this man.
I'm going to
I
challenge
am
you.
so proud of this man.
Born in the 80s. Not everything you know is what everyone else knows.
Wow.
Stop it.
Wow. Wow.
Ethan, your manager is notorious for complaining about everything, but nonetheless, you pick up 2 points
Man.
here, and it's a big 2 points as you make it to the title match against Dan Murrell. It is the third match, as Sam mentioned before. It is the rubber match. It is the big time, if you will, match that you lost your championship for. I know how bad you wanted to get it back, and now you're one of the elite players who have 10 wins in this league. You get to face Dan. How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm good. I mean, first I will say I love playing against Rocha. He's awesome. To play against a legend like that and just an overall really good guy. It was a lot of fun. You know, I feel bad that it kind of ended the way it did on a technicality, but I'll take it 100%. And in terms of, but look, he played awesomely. And in terms of Dan, I'm just excited to get back in the thing with him, man. I mean, like, you know, my first time against him, I TKO'd him. The next time, it was right down to the wire. And I think I've learned a lot since then. And I've spent some time with him, and you know, my Meredith and I, and he and Mara, and we've, you know, I've gotten to know him. I think he's a great guy. So I'm excited to play against him, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, speaking of which, before we bring in John and Mr. Gooch,
so we're clear, we're not
the champion
gonna stick around for the Q&A.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dangerous Dan Merle, the
hi there.
trivia.
I don't know how much longer I got to stick around. So
thank you.
Yeah, I was saying,
go ahead and pause it real quick.
Yeah,
if you guys want to pause it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I didn't know you guys were doing a rewatch
right now, watching that match.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah.
We can.
I can give you about 10-15 minutes if you need it, if you need to talk about anything, and then after I got to roll.
Having you here.
We're canceling mornings, by the way, Alex. I can't do it anymore. I'm done.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, no worries. I assumed so. Honestly, I really did assume so.
Anyway, yeah, go ahead. Yes.
The fact that you're jumping on here after that, like that's awesome. We're really glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Regardless, but
yeah,
man, that
was a good match.
I feel for you. Like that's not the way you want to go out at all.
No, but I mean, but all the things that have all the things that have like occurred in numerous matches, like this match was a microcosm of my entire career.
Mm-hmm.
You had the David O. Russell moment with Mark Ellis and them ruling against the 1960s thing, which I think was a valid challenge, and it was a fun challenge because I was trying to throw them off, and you can tell Ethan was a little bit mad. And that was the point, right? I mean, I do kick myself over not asking for the repeat in the first round for Boris Karloff, because I think I would have gotten there if I'd had a few more seconds to put to troubleshoot the answer, because I knew it was either Bela Lugosi or Lon Chaney or Karloff in there. But I just answered Lon Chaney, and I didn't want to use my repeat in the first round just in case. And so those are decisions you make in gameplay. You have to kind of figure it out as you feel it out naturally as you do it. And then when we got to the second round, I mean, he spun Spinner's Choice. That's a hell of an advantage. So Sam can quabble all day about like, oh, you answered a hell of a difficult questions, which is ridiculous. But he got the category he put on the wheel, which is Catherine Bigelow. And so he ripped through those. And then, I jumped, and of course, I challenged and tried to unsettle him. I don't agree with their ultimate decision, which was that they would take, ask a new question, because it should not be up to the commentator to help the player answer the question correctly, to say, oh, I assume you mean the 1960s. And that's like, wait, why? You don't get to assume that at all. The answer is the 1960s. If he says the 60s, you're not specifying what century it's going on. And yes, we all know that Detroit occurs in the 1960s. However, if we're going to be, and this is something that needs to be really addressed, either we're stringent with the rules or we're not stringent with the rules. And it shouldn't be a case. It shouldn't be a superfluous situation necessarily, because if we're going to be stringent about certain things, we have to say, then yes, from going forward, the answers have to be exactly correct. And so that was why I challenged that, because I was like, no, he said the 60s, and then Mark said the 1960s, and that's what cued me into the challenge. If Mark hadn't said anything, I probably wouldn't have said a word and let it go, because we all assumed it,
Yeah.
But then going into but then I got the 90s and ripped through the 90s, and I felt good going into the third round. We went back and forth, and I had the opportunity to win. It was there. It's like playing tennis, right? You get that match point, you get that shot. Yeah. But it was such a difficult 5-pointer for everyone but Robert. And I, because I've only seen the movie, like I've seen the movie 3 or 4 times, but it's not it's not a movie I like run back to all the time.
Yeah.
And so I just didn't know it. And I kept pounding my head. And truth is, I was so lost in thought in trying to remember what those words could mean and what scene that was from, that the time ran out on me. And you see me say repeat after he goes, nothing, nothing. And I was like, oh shit. All right, repeat. And then it was too late. And I had to take the loss. So it's like, once again, it's those little things throughout the whole. And then at the end, the Sidney Pollack, it's not the Jane Fonda thing. It is kind of, except I didn't answer, except I wasn't answering first. It was more David O. Russell. But so, all the things that had been in all my matches kind of came to revisit me. And also the fact that I played damn well against one of the best, most knowledgeable movie guys you're going to go against. I mean, think about it. He only missed 2 questions, which was Revenge of the Nerds and that 5-pointer, which was very, very difficult. So,
yeah, that's one of the things that we were remarking on when we saw the challenge was this. It definitely felt like it was a strategy play. Let's try to
absolutely,
because you're going up against someone like Ethan. Ethan is going to know. So that's one of the first things I said at the top of this. Ethan knows what he knows, and he knows a lot. And so one of the things you want to do in that case is definitely try to rattle him, definitely try to shake him up.
It's strategy.
It worked to a degree. We definitely could tell watching that he definitely was shaken up a little bit from that, but he's still just a powerhouse full of knowledge. Yeah, and he was able to push through it, which is what it is. That was the question I was going to ask you too. Also, was if Mark didn't say what he said, would there have been a challenge?
Yeah, no, probably not, because I wouldn't have been cued to it. Because in my mind, I was like, yeah, the '60s. That makes sense. That's what we call it, the '60s, right? CNN had a documentary called The '60s. It wasn't called the 1960s. So in my mind, but I see some of the fans grousing, which cracked me up. The fans that never play grousing about this, saying like, "Oh, they knew what he meant," and it's like, no, that's not the game. The game is, you have to answer correctly the things. When you create a game, then you can do whatever you want to do with the rules. But the rules are you're supposed to answer correctly and blah blah blah. And also, it was a strategy play. And a little behind the scenes, Christian called me afterwards and he was very kind about it and everything. And he was just like, and he goes, "Yeah, but that game's not really your game." I'm like, "No, it is now. I'm adding that to my game because the thing I've always done and why I've stayed around for so long and in the upper tier is that I adapt constantly to how things change. So if we're going to use challenges as strategy plays, and you're playing someone who's equally as knowledgeable as you are, and I'm damn sure equally as knowledgeable as Ethan, because I did have Sidney Pollack, just didn't write it down fast enough, then you have to know when to use that. And I thought that was a perfect time right at the beginning of his round. Could have cost him 2 points. And in the end, I didn't lose it. I knew I wasn't going to lose the challenge. I knew I wasn't going to lose the actual challenge. I might lose the challenge in terms of like they won't take away the points, but I knew I wouldn't lose the actual challenge to be able to use it later on in the match because it was a legitimate challenge.
So one of the things, the reactions that we're doing here is kind of like this, where we get someone on and we watch it and we're able to pause it. During the challenge for this one, we did pause it, and even though we probably could have deliberated ourselves while they were all deliberating behind the scenes in real time, so to speak, we were sitting here trying to hash it out. One of the things that I brought up, and maybe if you're able to clarify, because you have a lot more experience actually playing in the Schmoedown here, is that one of the things I compared it to is, and I think this actually wasn't a game, where someone asked, like, say, what's that John Carpenter movie from the 80s where an alien is trying to replicate all the people in Antarctica? And say, like, if you answer that, you answer Thing.
The Thing.
So the movie is called The Thing, but there's no other movie called Thing. Or actually,
there isn't.
But would that be acceptable?
It has been in the past. Mark has said, to clarify, and once again, this is why we need to have an official rule book so that all can be settled. But Mark has said before that a or the are interchangeable. So you can go a thing or the thing mostly, and you'll get it. But if there's another film with the same title that doesn't have it, then you'll lose it. I refer you to, remember the Changeling in the Manager Bowl? I said the Changeling, but it's actually Changeling because there is a film with George C. Scott, a horror film called The Changeling from the 70s. So they didn't give me the point. They knew what I meant. See, it's the same situation, right? Yeah. They knew I meant Changeling, Angelina Jolie, Clint Eastwood. Yeah. But because I said The Changeling and it's another movie, they took the point away from me. But in this situation, he said the 60s. But they will never ask you, Robert, and I challenge you to go back and find the matches. They're not going to go, what 80s movie? They'll go, what 1980s movie or 1982 movie stars, blah, blah, blah. They'll put the date in there so that you can specify what time you're looking at, what year you're looking at. Even in this match, right? It was a 1995 film, 1999 film. They're very clear about dates because I think PJ and lesser degree Skaliski, because I don't think he's as hands-on as he was before this year. PJ has been very clear about making sure the actual date is in the question. He wants that to help the players who are good at movie release dates to kind of pinpoint where this movie actually lies. So I'll be shocked if you find anything from this year where they go in the 60s or in the 80s or an 80s movie. And if you do, then I'll eat my words. But I've seen them do a better job of it this year than I've seen in any years past. And so I appreciate that as a competitor.
I think they typically have only done that when that is like the category in the category
the 90s.
Of the 90s.
Right. Or
what,
the 80s. Yeah.
What movie? or maybe I've seen something like where if the category is like, say, actor specific, which Robin Williams movie from the 90s involves him dressing up like a female nanny, something like that.
Yeah, but your reference point is not the 90s. Your reference point is Robin Williams.
Because
there's
obviously
the difference, right?
Robin Williams wasn't alive during
exactly,
the 1890s.
In the 1890s, or 1790s, or 1690s. But like the difference between, and I saw this too, the difference between a 90s category and a question that has an answer that is the 90s, there's a difference, because the 90s as a category is already inferred from the beginning. It's the 1990s. If you're answering a question about a decade, then you have to specify the decade, and that's what it says. What decade? And its decade is the 1960s. That's the decade, not the 1860s. And there were riots in the 1860s. We know Detroit has nothing to do with the 1860s, but I think you have to answer the question fully correctly in order to get the points. Either we're all the way strict about it or we're not. So.
The first thing I brought up when we paused to discuss it was that, I mean, we've all seen the trailer for Detroit. Obviously, we know it's a modern day, as close to modern as the 1960s are. There's cops in modern day typical cop uniform. Obviously, it's not the 1860s.
Sure.
So is something like that, can that be taken into account, just the common sense of it all?
I don't think so, because if you start going common sense route, then when I said Lena Headey versus Lena Headley, you knew who I meant. And at that point, where's the limit? At that point, you become where it's subjective to the person calling the match.
Who's common sense? Right.
Who's common sense? So once again, it's too subjective. And when it becomes subjective like that, then it's an issue. I always, and I will champion this, there needs to be an outside referee. I think Mark and Christian should make no more decisions about any challenges that occur in the match. They should not even be involved, in my opinion, because they're too close to it. This is their baby. They created it. So it can have a little bit of an illusion of, or a feel like, oh, are they making a decision because it's good for drama and ratings and good for leading to a possible matchup they might want to see down the road? The inference can be there. I'm not saying they're doing that. I'm saying the inference, the appearance of that can be there. And so the way to remove that is to have an independent judge and to have an actual rule book. And we need to have that going into season 8. I think it's essential, because players now are spending hours upon hours upon hours study. I spent 3 weeks almost every night, 4 to 6 hours, while my girlfriend's on the couch watching TV or talking with me occasionally, studying. Do you think I'd rather have been with my girlfriend arm in arm and cuddling up and watching shows? But I'm sitting here committed to give the fans a good match, and to have it kind of a little bit marred with a little controversy, a little mistakes like that. I think that isn't good for the players, and that will eventually reach a tipping point where the players go, well, why would I be involved in this if it's so subjective that where I don't have anything to put like roots down or an anchor down about any rule that happens,
Yeah, and then that's just where we're at with the game. Also, I mean, the game
young.
is it's definitely still young, but it's at that point where it's. I mean, you got Skybound on there now. It's going to blow up. It's just a matter of when, not if.
Yeah. And I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
You low key. I feel like this might be a kind of blessing in disguise on that. No, not you. Not
it doesn't
not
feel
you.
that way.
No, not for you, because you performed great and everything. I'm referring to specifically for the Finstock, because I do think when for the Finstock exchange, because obviously, both swag and corruption is on Finstock exchange's ass.
They are. Yeah.
They are. And now I'm not saying that they're going to go over them, but there is a guaranteed handful of matches coming up very soon that are like up with high points for them potentially. Now, thing is, now that you're in the singles tournament, however, I feel like it's almost like a guaranteed so many points. No, just because I was looking at the singles thing tournament, and I was like, hypothetically, if it was you versus Sabrina, and I'm like, I know for a fact you are going to do this. You're going to be, you're you're going to be doing really well against these people, kind of thing. And so it's not a slight against, you know, the other competitors or anything. It's just you are in this like crazy high caliber, you know, level of competitiveness, you know, versus, you know, you're not like a casual competitor with a lot of casual knowledge or anything. Like you actively study and everything, like you just said. So honestly, like it just puts FinSec Exchange in such a better situation where they are going to be expecting some really great points here very soon.
Yeah,
honestly.
I think you're pretty close. You're pretty much right on there. I mean, it's the same situation as to why Kalinowski is going into the singles tournament and didn't play Guy. There is,
although I will say, Chris and Alex, there's a difference between losing trying to get to the summit and willfully walking away from an opportunity.
Yeah,
and this is just my own personal point of view. And I'm a different person, right? This is not a judgment on I'm saying I wouldn't do that because to me, the way I'm built, because I'm very much built on writing the energy and organic energy within the universe. And even in the match, like guys, my heart was like pounding during that 5-pointer. I could hear my heart pounding because my nerves were so high. I ride the wave of these things. And so for me, the game, when you mess with the game like that, when you've earned an opportunity and you walk away from an opportunity, in my opinion, you risk the karma of the game. I believe in the karma of the game and that the game will screw you over if you try to mess with the way the game has been laid out or built or constructed. And I have seen it happen many times over 7 seasons where a player makes a decision and then they think they're making the right decision or they're scoffing at the game and the game bites him in the butt. Number one example is Bibiani. When he first jumped into the game, he would laugh at the questions, scoff at the questions sitting on the sideline, make comments about the questions. And initially he was right because he had a great first match against Andreyko, but the game has humbled him ever since. And he's taking a lot of hits, not just from me, fans, everyone. He's taking a lot of crap about third and fifth, 3 and 5 pointers. And so those are the things that he's had. And that to me is when you insult the game, you laugh at the game, you scoff at the game, or you try to mess with what the game has given you. I think you risk the karma of the game and it could come back to bite you in the butt. And he's got a very, very tough first round in Perry Nemiroff. Please do not discount Perry Nemiroff. She's quite knowledgeable about film and she's been sitting on the sidelines kind of salivating. And let me tell you something, having worked with her, there's nothing she loves to do more than compete in the job, in life, in sports. She's built that way, you know? And so I think she's going to be like just salivating at the opportunity to take out a former #1 contender and a former IG champion in Kalinowski. So whereas I lost, exactly. She has nothing to lose. Kalinowski has a lot to lose. Going out in the first round as a former champion, that's tough. So me trying to climb the mountaintop and slipping and falling all the way down or down a little bit, I think is a better respect to the game than what Kalinowski is doing, in my opinion. But I don't disrespect my friend. I'm just saying I wouldn't do what he's doing.
For sure. Yeah. That's definitely I completely get that. I completely understand that point of view as well. You are in a great situation though, where you still can, where you can not saying that losing is a great situation because it's not, but you are still in that opportunity where we know the game can go either way anytime. It's just how the game is. Yeah. But I do believe you are definitely in a great situation where you can actually do both and do well for the faction, and now you can also make that climb back to that position and go after and get that belt again. So
it's a harder road though, isn't it? I mean, 4 matches against some of the best competitors this league has ever seen, and certainly some of the newer players who've come in where you don't have a lot of game tape on them and you don't know what you're going to get when you walk into the first match. So just because I have a legacy or whatever, it doesn't mean the first round I couldn't get upset by the person I'm playing, depending on how it all plays out, what happens with Dan and Ethan, because I don't play until Dan and Ethan play. And some of these first round matches I think have started happening, or I heard in the win they've started happening already, pre-recorded or whatever.
They've already started recording them. Yeah.
I think. So I have to wait 2 weeks before I know which side of the bracket I'm on. So that's the other thing too, is I can't even prepare for who I'm playing because I don't know who I'm playing. You know?
That's true.
I can focus on preparing myself to answer all the categories and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know what to pick. Yeah.
Is there a way this bracket breaks down where you actually could end up facing Ethan again in the tournament? Is that am I reading it right?
I think only if Ethan loses to Dan, because then he's on the other side of the bracket, then we would face each other. I would love nothing more than to face him again. I showed him tonight, and I promised you guys on Backstage, everybody who's watching, everybody who's going to see this, I promised on Backstage that he would get the best match I've ever given, and I was a shade away from a perfect game. A shade away. If I take that repeat, maybe I get to Boris Karloff, and if I hit that 5-pointer. So I fought my ass off. I answered the first 2 questions of sudden death. It did have the third question of sudden death, but didn't write it down quick enough. So he got a hell of a game from me. And I showed him I'm not afraid of him anymore. I'm not afraid of him at all. And I can play the game with passion and not have it unsettle me. And I know where to challenge him and all of that. So to face him again would be great. And him and Sam they took all the shots they wanted to take tonight. And I knew they were all coming, which is why if you catch me, I'm just looking down at the ground or looking away. I almost took the headphones off every time they were on screen, but I didn't want it to be like, oh, look, he's being a baby. So what I did is I had an awesome Liverpool video on YouTube. So when they started talking, I just put the Liverpool video on and just listened to that until they were done talking, because I could hear the cue.
Drown them out.
Yeah, so totally drown them out.
I feel you.
Wait, so then you missed that? Did you miss that shot that Sam tried to take at you there?
Probably. What did he say?
Oh, what was it? There was one where it was
he was wanting to miss it for a reason.
It was it's something along the lines of Rocha has a history of not getting the 5 pointers.
Yeah.
It was something along those lines.
But I don't have a history of missing 5 pointers.
I know. I remember hearing it. I was like,
I'm actually
I don't know if
pretty
those
good at 5
facts
pointers.
check out, but okay.
Yeah.
I
didn't know this one, but yeah.
It's just
a
that
tough one.
one random. It is. It's definitely one of the harder 5-pointer questions that I've ever heard. Personally, even if it is like a popular movie, it's just such a a random line.
Here's the thing: behind the scenes again. Chance email or messaged me on Facebook. He's very kind. It's a great match and all of that. But he said that I would have not gotten that 5-pointer unless, or I would have missed that 5-pointer in the past. The only reason I would have got it this time is because I had studied up for the IG tournament. And he said, if I hadn't studied up for IG, there's no way I would have gotten that 5-pointer.
I think one of the key to what actually makes that question really good is like you're sitting here. The question is, what does NYPD stand for? Your first thought is like, okay, what does the letter N stand for?
Yeah.
But it's throwing you off that he says the word knock.
Yeah, right.
Begins with
which
K.
is K. Yeah.
So you're already just completely gone on that from just
It's
the
almost
first
like
letter.
Questions like that are like meant to kind of trip you up a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a wee bit. Just a little bit.
It was a good 5-pointer.
You know.
I won't
It
complain.
is a good question.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say about PJ? He's a darn angel.
Yeah.
He's doing his job. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. I have no
That's what he's
complaints on
doing.
PJ.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I was gonna say the only other thing I really have to say now that you're actually here is that Guy Fawkes mask there is fantastic.
Yeah, we all talked about that.
When you came out with that on, we're like, okay, that wins the game right there. Just send Ethan home.
I haven't worn the other mask in a long time, but I saw this on Amazon. I was like, I gotta have it, and so I ordered it, and so I thought I'd wear it for the match. So
the Guy Fawkes pandemic mask beats having your own action figure.
Yeah.
That's a little ridiculous.
It was kind of funny how like 3 people on the screen though did actively have like their name in some form.
Behind
it
them.
didn't occur to me until like he brought it up, and then I was like,
It's
wait,
true.
literally Gucci, Ethan, and Rocha. It's like it's not a bad thing. I was like, it just never even occurred to me.
Yeah.
You know, but
That would have been funny depending on what Sam Levine's ability to edit his green screen.
Yeah, right.
His key. If he could have just quickly put his name on the green screen behind him, that would have been hilarious.
He just fast forwards to the part of Inglourious Basterds where his name is on the screen credited.
I thought because I have a green screen, I thought about like adjusting the studio so I could put the green screen up and try something to mess with Sam. I was going to bring up one of his like terrible movies and have a picture of him and some weird face behind me just to totally mess with him. But
you have to go not another teen movie where he's acting like the gangster Asian, the gangster Asian kid.
Yeah, I would have put that up like something like where his face is like this. I would have put something up there behind, but I didn't want to. I didn't have time, and I was too focused on getting ready for this match. I was cramming like crazy even today. Today I studied for 4.5 hours before the match. I never studied before a match, but I was like, I need to keep sharp, so.
Yeah, that's why I sent you the message earlier about this. I'm like, he's not going to respond. He's going to be too busy. Just let Rocha do what Rocha needs to do. And if he shows up, cool. If not, so be it. But
no, you guys have been kind. So I was like, I'll jump into this one. I wasn't going on Let's Get Ready. Nah, I'll come on this one. This seems more relaxed. So that's what I would do.
You mean you wouldn't come on C2A?
I would too. I wasn't asked to, but I would have. Yeah.
Ooh. We're not doing reactions nowadays. Just want to let you know, we only do breakdowns, which is almost like very similar to this. But overall, what a fantastic match.
Did you guys enjoy the match? Do I lose anything here, like into my legacy or shame, losing to him 3 times?
No, not at all.
That's the thing that I worry about.
Here's the thing, like not saying that because you're here, saying that literally because you don't. I think you continue to prove why you are one of the mainstays in this game, and why even though you talk about retirement, none of us believe it.
You should trust me. You should.
Well, we all had like a huge discussion about that earlier before we even started. We were talking about the promos. We were like literally consider like I even like I brought up like our reaction when we did this you versus Mance Forever and a Day and ago.
Oh yeah,
and I was like. It all comes back to Rocha. That match, going back and that was like he was like part of the first real storylines. He was like part of like the creating the first real Schmoedown character and all this there was like he was the first competitor that actually studied, even though it was nerdy to study. Only nerds study, and it's like it was like the Legion, like the first competitor of. As we know, kind of competitors today. It was a whole different situation. So, and you don't get credit for that, which I do not appreciate.
Well, thank you. It's very kind of you.
I mean, that's exactly what you said before. You talked about adapting. That's one of the things I think you've been the forefront of in this game from the very beginning is you are able to pick up on the winds of change very quickly, adapt very quickly, and continue showing why you earned the moniker of founding father.
I mean, you look at these matches. It's very kind of you, both of you, to say that. Thank you. When you look at the matches, that's the thing. Like, I don't think I'm ahead of the curve. I think I see what's coming in, and I go, okay, if I want to stick around, this is what I need to do. Right? Dan has converted, or Dan has adapted as well. Right? When they lost to Andrew, then lost to Ethan in that tournament, he was like, okay, that's not happening again. And so Dan has like Kevin Smets Kalinowski level of books on all these movies. Like when we showed up for the match in Atlanta, he had a stack of books for every category. And so he likes to write it down. Well, I don't work good. I like to create an Excel spreadsheet and transfer that onto a Word doc. And then from the Word doc, I cut it down to one-liners or 1 or 2 liners for every movie so that everything else I can get quickly, no problem. But the extra, the liners, the 1 or 2 liners, they're just to keep certain facts that don't always stay necessarily in my head as strongly as other facts about those movies as a reference point. So those things, that's how I study now versus how I used to study, which is just taking a bunch of quizzes online. Now it's more focused. The idea of using wheel slices to kind of hone your thing. And then speaking to a person who is a patron of mine, she was great. We had an hour conversation, me and her, talking about statistics and talking about trends in the game. And she watched 2 years of matches, 1,650 questions. And I don't want to say she.
No, 'cause I feel like I know someone that does that. So
Yeah, it might be her. It might be her.
No.
She's in the Finstock Exchange pocket apparently, so we're happy about that. But for now, but she took it down and she broke it down by statistics. What decade they ask the most of for the questions? What other what's the second most decade, third most, fourth most, and then what certain wheel slices appear more frequently than what questions from those wheel slices, and then a conversation about common movies that will fall into 4 or 5 different categories. How many of those are on there? So it's all of that I've kind of put into motion for this. And this is like Tiger Woods, right? Like figuring out his swing again every single time, not getting involved in the other stuff, but like figuring out his swing again every time so he can show up and win another Masters. So for me, it's that I need to kind of, I saw that whole thing and then boom, I'm going to figure out what to do next. I'm going to adjust. And so that's, that inspires me. That excites me, you know? And so, yeah, I may still retire because honestly, emotionally, it takes a lot out of me. It's been 7 years I've been doing it. Everyone else gets to retire but me. But yeah.
You can retire as a competitor, but I can't picture Schmoedown without you, and I say that as a fan. You know?
Well, maybe you guys should, so the fans appreciate it.
Maybe as a manager, heck, as a commissioner or a question writer, heck yes.
There's no way Christian would let me be a commissioner
or that rep.
Or could there possibly be any like shaking around as far as management come this next season?
What are you trying to pull?
What an appropriately
what are you trying to say? Huh?
What an appropriately timed ding that was. Where did that one come from? Because I didn't do that.
That was me.
That was fantastic, Alex.
I didn't do it. That wasn't intentional. I promise.
I have no comment. I respect my manager, but I also know he can only keep 3 people. And so next year will be an interesting situation. I think it all matters on how we do in the defending the belts against corruption.
Yeah.
And then if I go into this tournament, how I do in this tournament. I just know that I feel like changes are coming. Changes are coming is all I can say for the Outlaw. Changes are coming. And if things work out a certain way, I think there'll be changes for the best. And so that's all I'll say. But I love and respect being part of the Finstock Exchange this year. I love and respect my manager and every player on this team. They rallied around me big time and made time to help me train for this match. And it means a lot to me, and I will give back to them to get them ready for the tournament coming up. Because I think all of us have not played one match in this tournament yet because it's about to start ramping up. So I'm going to do mock matches with them as well to get them ready in any way, shape, or form. And then Dan and I, I'm sure we'll figure stuff out for corruption. So, oh my God, I can't wait. Like now it's a terrible loss, but I can't wait to get in the ring again with Dan. Because going toe-to-toe with Ethan like this gives me so much confidence. And so if we keep putting the studying thing in motion, the tactics that I've just discovered in preparation for Ethan, I think I have a chance to become the greatest player to ever played this game. If I can stick it out and figure out how to calm my nerves, I think the knowledge now that I understand I need to have in order to become the greatest player that ever played this game has opened up in this process for Ethan. So maybe, yes, like you said, Chris, earlier, maybe it is a blessing in disguise. I took the loss. Maybe I go into the tournament. If I decide to go into the tournament, an even better player than I've ever been before. And that should scare the living hell out of everybody in my bracket and everybody in that tournament. Because all the old barbs, all the old shots, none of that works anymore. All I'm focused on is how much more knowledge can I acquire before I walk through the door, So
I got to be honest. I feel like I need to change my pants. I'm so scared now.
Should be scared. Brandon Hanna with his little shots during the chat.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Don't build your career off my accomplishments, son.
I
almost
swear.
drove to his house.
Brandon Hanna.
I don't even know who he is. Like why he matters. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. He's not even good.
Oh yeah, the IG tournament winner Brandon Hanna.
Doesn't even go here. Right.
It's almost like he was a real letdown as a competitor and potential storyline.
Oh man.
crazy.
All right. Well,
all right.
John, it's been great having you here. I know it's big props that you're willing to show up despite the defeat. So we know that you're feeling it there, and so we're very grateful to you for being able to pop on for a little bit.
Thank you.
I would actually like to point out something. So, unfortunately, because this is a Patreon match, this particular stream obviously is not being live streamed. Everyone who's watching this on YouTube, you're watching it now, and we recorded this probably like 2 weeks ago or so. We started this match. So when Alex first came on to here for us to start doing this, the match was still being broadcast live on the Schmoedown Entertainment Network. So we started this reaction the second it was over.
Literally.
So as far as the timetable, for those of y'all who've been watching this, I mean, well, of course, I edited a little bit out of the middle there for like pee breaks and whatnot. This is essentially John has come on since this has aired on the Schmoedown Entertainment Network. To come on like right after that, absolutely, thank you so much. We understand what this sport means to you. It is a complete honor that you would come to the show and do this for us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me on. It's good to see you, Alex, Robert, and Chris. I'm always I'm a fan of you guys as reactors. So I was honored to come on tonight and have a little conversation with. This is the way I wanted to do it. The other podcasts get too crazy. You guys are chill, and so I'm happy to come on and hang out with you. And this is not going up for 2 weeks. Is that what you're saying?
Whenever it's allowed to go live.
All right.
Yeah. Whenever this match is live on YouTube, that's when this will go up.
So Sam, 2 weeks from now, when you see this, I'm coming after your little ass for your shots. All your shots. All your little shots. You little thing. You can't escape from me. No. I'm gonna shave your face off. Shave your beard off your face. I'm gonna pin you down like the little child you are and shave the beard off your face. No, much love to him. Much love to him. And congrats to Ethan for the victory. He played a hell of a match. So, and I like what he had to say, that it was he likes playing with it. We go toe to toe, and so it's always good to have the respect of your fellow competitors. Honestly, so I appreciate it. So thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Great to see you, Alex, and everybody. And I will talk to you. And thanks everybody for watching me gab on and on and on. And I'll talk to you next time.
Did you want to drop anything before you leave?
Yeah, I mean, you can go to my YouTube page, youtube.com/John Rocha says. John Rocha says. Go get involved in that. Don't forget the top 10. We just dropped a new thing called the Golden Ticket, our new show. That's a lot of fun. It's our Jeopardy style show that we're doing with all the $10 patrons. So 62 people are competing in this competition to become a guest on the top 10 show and pick the topic. And we hang out with them the whole time. So we had a really good time. So it's a lot of fun there. And then that's it. I think that's it. Oh, and Twitch, the Outlaw Nation. I'll be on Twitch more now that I'm not like worrying about Dan in 2 weeks. So, all right. Much love to everybody. Thanks for having me on. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
All right. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Good night.
All right. We want to wrap this up real quick.
I feel like I just did a little bit of a mental workout. There's a lot going on in this match for sure. It's such a great match and great conversation for sure.
I saw that Dan popped up here. I want to see what he has to say to Ethan, and then we can wrap this thing up.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap this up because of the length of time we're allowed to record for StreamYard. We're gonna be hitting that boundary here in a little bit. So,
what is it?
Like 4 hours.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Which I mean, completely behind the veil. I mean, people are gonna see this much shorter, but yeah. This is
all right.
Wait. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're there. Yeah. All right, let's
feel like C2A tonight.
I know. I'm just like, we've recorded like 8-hour streams. Like, what are we doing? Are we doing bad stuff and we just don't realize it?
I am, you may be Hotep, Christian, but I am very proud of my teammate, of John Rocha. I am predicting controversy. I will predict that right now. Watching at home, watching here.
Yeah.
One of the questions.
What gives you that idea?
Controversy, not about that challenge, but the game is the game, and challenges are challenges, and there was none issued during gameplay, so that's for the backstage folks and everyone else to sort out. It was a
Fanatics.
well-played game. I mean, what? My God,
Yeah, we
can't ask for
sorted
a
it.
better game.
It was a
great game for any on any occasion, but especially for a number one contenders match. And I am so proud when that Chris Hemsworth question came up, because Ethan, I know you were a big Star Trek guy, so I was like, well, Ethan obviously knows this. For John to pull that answer and to go to another round of overtime, I was just so proud of everything that he did. And for the record, I agree with the challenge. I think that you gotta. It's by the new Ben Bateman strategy. You gotta scrap for every.
I respect that. I do.
The game, so I agree with the challenge.
I may have not agreed with it, but honestly, it makes sense. I totally understand their perspective.
We'll see if people say it out.
I'm so curious to find out what that is, but we'll talk later.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me ask you this, Dan, before because I mean, obviously I want you guys to talk about it, but Ethan, when you came back in 2018 to your own, you said this many times, you were a little.
He's got to do the post interview with Rocha, so I feel like we already did that.
Game.
Right.
One of those roadblocks that you ran into in your 2018 season was Ethan Erwin. He had knocked you out in the tournament, and then you came back at a perfect game and took the title away from him. This is the rubber match. This is the third one. Is this, knowing you as a player, is this something that you want? Because now you have a chance to take a point ahead of him and go 2-1. Nothing. You not hear me?
I heard you.
Dan can hear me.
Were you asking Ethan or me? Because I think it cut.
I thought he addressed you.
I was asking you, Dan. I'm
sorry. I'm so sorry. Listen, I apologize. I'm so lost in that game. My head is still swimming with many apologies. So regarding Ethan, listen, as Sam mentioned, it's a rubber match. So my first game against Ethan I didn't fare too well. Obviously, with the championship match, I mean, listen, Ethan is a great opponent. As far as a championship match against Ethan, I've been there, done that. I literally have the T-shirt. So, but it took perfection. It took perfection for me to beat Ethan for the championship the first time, and I'm expecting nothing different for a rematch.
Ethan, before we let both you and Dan go, anything to say to Dan going into your big match? Is only about, I think, like 2 weeks away right now.
Yeah. No, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not going to move from this spot. I want to be studying the entire 2 weeks until that time, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to play against you again, man.
All right. Well, Ethan and Sam, stick around, please, because we're going to bring you for a Q&A for the Sam, did you want to say something?
But before we go, I don't want you to I can't have you cutting me off be the last thing I say. People think I'm some sort of jerk. I, of course, also want to commend John Rocha. I'm playing a terrific game today. And congratulations to the Finstock Exchange. They are an unstoppable force. And Rocha certainly proved that he is championship material. And of course, I'm going to be defensive of my guy. That's what a manager is supposed to do. But hats off to John Rocha.
Rocha's proved he's championship material multiple times.
Multiple questions in a sudden death. And then
the point is,
last one on a Jane
literally
Fonda level,
everyone present on that screen is championship material.
A terrible way to lose. And so,
truly, I'm not exaggerating, because every single person on that screen has received a belt.
I hope John knows that. And again, I'm very proud of my.
And everyone on our screen is championship material too, at least in our hearts.
Well, I think it was more of a David O. Russell level, if I may.
Great minds,
Where John was, as far as I got the answer, it was too late. I scribbled it down and didn't get the point. John and I seem to be afflicted with this, so we're going to work.
Why does she have to be under me?
Thank you, Dangerous Dan Merle. Thank you to Ethan Erwin. Thank you to Billy Martin. We'll bring you guys back in just a moment.
Because that's what StreamYard did.
1 second for Sam and Ethan.
Also, because I do not have an account with your
see you, my friend.
Account.
And again, not only do you have this match with
if you have an
Ethan now
account,
coming
you go
up,
above
John Rocha is in the tournament. Now, your fate of whether or not you're going to be in the tournament goes against this Ethan Erwin match. Should you win, you keep the title and you wait for the winner of that tournament. Should you lose, you have chosen to enter the tournament. So how are you feeling? You haven't played in a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the thing that Rocha just told us. He has the opportunity to, if he wants to, he can not enter the tournament and just let Sabrina go ahead and play.
Since I played Ben in Atlanta. And I mean, thank goodness we were able to get that match in, because we didn't know that at the time, but pretty close to the wire. Obviously,
Again, this is
a few
like
things
2
happen.
weeks later, so who knows what's going to
What
change
I'm doing
between
in
right
my
now
career
recording this
my
and
personal
when
life, but,
this actual video is
I
live.
am very
People
hungry to get
watching
back
this
into the
may
game.
already know.
Obviously, knowing that I would be playing either John or Ethan, I knew that I would have a tough opponent. Cards on the table. I honestly would have.
I think it's
preferred
too early
that
to
it
say.
was
I want
John
to see. I
because
now
it
want to
takes
see
that
Dan
extra weight
defend,
off
and
my
I want to
shoulders
see
as far as the faction goes.
Ethan
Because
versus
then
John
whoever
again, if that's how it
wins,
shakes
we're
out
fine.
with
We've
Sabrina
got
in there. I don't
corruption,
know.
obviously,
I want to see
moving
Sabrina
down
in the
our
tournament
pipes
too.
now. John and I,
Yeah.
in I think 3 weeks' time or something like that, if we take care of business, we can get ourselves some more breathing room. But I would have liked for
It's
that
maybe
to have been
slight
another
personal bias to see
factional
Sabrina in the
rivalry,
tournament just because I
for those
played
reasons.
against her on Video
But
Drew's channel
yeah, I mean, listen,
for that
game
La La
I
Land
played
match.
against
So
Ethan in New York was one of my favorite games. Period. Not just because I won.
She's
but
a
just
good
because
competitor.
Back and forth of it. I'm excited.
We know
for
nothing
the
about
new,
her.
Format, the new speed round.
Other than
format.
she's really good at La
Obviously,
La
I'm
Land.
not-
Yeah.
My reflexes are
That's,
not
I mean,
wonderful.
like, I feel like those are very subjective.
I'm not
I
fixed.
mean, obviously they're subjective. I don't feel like those are like a good
To get back in the ring.
ways to
The
determine
game
who'd
has
be
changed.
good
I'm
in
excited to
Schmoedown,
play the game
honestly.
in a new,
Personally.
different way. And it's just going to be
But
fun
that's
to get
just
back
me.
in there. I was playing along.
I mean, do you guys do you
with
guys do
this
very
one, and
well
I
on
did
them?
all
I don't
right.
know.
So obviously,
I
got a couple
legitimately
weeks.
don't
I've got
know.
Tootsie in my corner.
I watch them
and,
sometimes, not always
You're going
though.
to get me where I need to be to play this game in 2 weeks.
He is the movie trivia Schmoedown
All right.
champion.
I've won, what,
of the
2 out of
do,
my
you,
3?
do you guys play?
Dan
I have no
Rowe,
clue.
and he will be defending.
I've done 3
his
matches. I've won 2 out of the 3 of them.
championship against Ethan
Nice. Which
Big-Time
movies?
Erwin for the third time.
La La Land
Dan, thanks for joining
and
us today.
My pleasure. See you guys in 2 weeks.
the
All right,
Infinity War
see you in
Endgame
2 weeks.
against
Now bringing back obviously
Ooh,
pretty
Endgame
crushed
would be rough.
here in a hell of a
That's a lot.
match.
Yeah, we had a Cinefanatic Civil War.
John Rocha.
Ooh,
John
that'd be good.
was, as everyone said, as Sam
Barely
said,
lost
as,
my
as
Santa
Dan
Claus
said it, nothing
match.
to hang your head about here. What a battle it was. Sudden death, 3 questions into it. How you feeling right now, champ?
I don't know what you want to say, man. It was a tough match. I fought my ass off all the way to the end, and I'm sorry to the kids for saying that, but you know how I play, man. I play with everything I got. I put it all on the line. I put it all there. I studied harder for this match than and I know I say that before, and maybe the Reddit will go crazy. Here's Rocha saying the same crap again, but I studied harder for this match than I've studied for any other match, and I've said it before a million times. Clearly I should study some Men in Black in the future. But Craig, I want to give a shout out to the Barbarian. The Barbarian really got me prepared for this. The other members of the Finstock Exchange stepped up and played me in mock matches all week.
Wow.
I beat them all. And I felt really confident going into this match. I felt very relaxed. Had a couple things go against me. I will still, once again, the old stuff rears its ugly head, and I wonder how much more of my heart can take it. Once again, a questionable judgment by Mark Ellis in this situation. Once again, writing down the answer, saying it first, so I'm not cheating. And Pollock was legible, but unfortunately I couldn't get Sydney written because I was nervously trying to write so fast. So, and I feel like I let my Outlaw Nation down, to be honest with you. I really wanted to win it for us to go up against Dan and have ourselves a fun match toe-to-toe, and have the possibility to beat Dan again. But what sucks is, once again, I'm going to hear all the crap from Sam. Got all his shots in like he did. I'm going to hear the crap that I can't beat Ethan, and even though it was right there on my plate. If you take away that 2 points from him in the second round, I win. Those are the things you have to look at, and it's unfortunate, but that's the game. And I feel absolutely crushed, just crushed. And I think, Christian, to be honest with you, I might have to have a conversation with my manager and wonder if I just step aside and let Sabrina take my slot anyway. I don't know.
There it is.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you next, because you do have a spot in the tournament right now. Should you want it? Like the road to the title, it's not over. It's just longer. So that's interesting of what you just said there. Gooch, let me start with you. We all seen big time performers. If a loss in the moment gets to them, but is Rocha going to be in the tournament? Is Sabrina going to be in? Is this something you guys need to figure out, sooner than later?
Look, I see the world in terms of what I want to see happen. Okay. Not what usually does. But what usually does is what I see happening anyway. Today, that didn't happen. Now, unfortunately, You know,
That both made sense and didn't make sense at all at the same time.
Went a certain sort of way. I mean, look, John is very
nailed it. I think
he played it great, fantastic game. Tough question. Ethan got a tough 5-pointer. He got a tough 5-pointer. You know, he probably kick himself off the Boris Karloff one as well. You know, I thought, you know, that was something that could have changed the game. Look, I don't know what the controversy Dan is talking about. Obviously, we'll get to the bottom of it as well. You know, look, either way, if he wants to play in a tournament, it's his. That's just the way it is. If he wants to step aside and let Sabrina play, that's something to think about as well. We're not going to sit here and make rash decisions after a very emotional loss. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, John, while this may not be the voice you want to hear right now, I know a lot of fans
I always forgive you. I always forgive you. Go ahead.
Anticipating some sort of back and forth between you and I, but I'll be honest. I agree with you. I can sympathize. While I can't empathize because I've never been in the exact situation you're in, hearing me announce the decision that the judges all agreed upon has to be tough for you in the same way that you're in a position where you put yourself on the line to compete at movie trivia. I put myself on the line having stepped up in the role of delivering the judge's decision. But regardless of that, what I'll tell you is that you have done what I don't think any other Schmoedown player has ever done, and that you have become more than just a competitor. You become a symbol. We've seen the documentary. It was so well done.
Yeah.
We've seen your career, and you've become a symbol for what hope, redemption, someone falling and then rising from the ashes has become. My question to you is simple. The next week, you take some time, you decompress. Do you get away from movie trivia, or do you invest yourself right back into it and start thinking and studying and grinding again for what we all inevitably know will be another John Rocha match?
It's a valid question.
Wow, his questions were almost better than ours.
Pull his heart out.
Almost.
Well, maybe calm down, kid, because this ain't a character I'm playing, son. So calm it down in that chat. Second of all, he's not gonna see balls turning liquid. Oh boy. Second of all, I don't walk away from my partner, and that's Dan Murrell, the greatest that ever did it. We have a match coming up with Corruption, and I'll tell you, like right now. And I saw Shannon Barney getting her shots in the chat. Shannon, you should be so scared for what we're gonna do to those kids. As mad as I am right now, I'm going to channel that into anger and study even harder so that Dan and I absolutely stomp all over those two little boys. And I can't wait. And the thing
I hear that cat.
Studying with Craig is there's a whole new.
Whose cat is that?
It's not mine.
It's not mine.
To become an even stronger player. And you said it
Strong
yourself.
cat. You don't. Well, since you don't have a cat, that narrows it down.
Down, in these attempts to come back to the top. And maybe with a little bit of time away from it, I'll put it all back together and make a decision about this tournament. But yeah, I don't want to see a movie trivia question right now. I want to spend the weekend with my girlfriend and love my life. Watch a little Umbrella Academy.
Very fair.
2, have a little food. I have a nice brownie cheesecake waiting for me.
That sounds good.
Shove it into my mouth, and then I'll make some decisions. But I want to say a big thank you to the Finstock Exchange. I want to say a big thank you to Tom and to the other two gentlemen who helped me out to get ready for this match. Thank you madly. Thank you madly. And thank you both for Mark and Christian for letting me do what I do in this arena, because I love it. And I'm trying, I love it. And losing sucks. Losing hurts. And maybe no one takes it harder than I do. But like Mark said, I do find a way to come back. The thing is, Mark, I don't know how many more I got left in me, to be honest with you. They take so much out of me every single time that I don't know how much I got left in me, man.
Is he the longest running, consistently running competitor Schmoedown's ever had?
Year, then it may be time to run off.
I feel like so.
And
maybe
Makuga and Riley.
Thank you for giving me a platform, Christian and Mark, for doing so.
Riley was the first champion.
Well, look, I'll say this. I will say this, and I'll say this on camera in front of everybody, including Christian Harloff, my partner in crime. As much as you probably have gotten out of the movie trivia Schmoedown, sir, as much as it may have boosted your career, gotten your social media numbers up, the Schmoedown has gotten a lot more because you have been and continue to be a part of it. And for that, we're endlessly grateful.
My dog, I swear, is a star.
Like I said, we know you're gonna. We'll find out whether it's in your tournament. We know, like you said, you have your big team's title defense against Corruption. So we're gonna see you in that. Regardless, the season is still a trugging along, as Mark Ellis says. But John, I echo what Mark says. You have been a staple of this league. You still are a staple of this league. Not only are you a friend, you are someone who has helped build this league tremendously. Take the time, enjoy that cheesecake. And we'll see you. We'll see you really, really soon. And again, great match.
Thank you, Outlaw Nation. Much love. Thank you for being behind me.
All right, we're gonna drop out both.
Thank you, guys.
John and Gooch. All right, so if Gucci and Rocha could drop out, we're gonna bring back Ethan and Sam. And now we open it up to you.
And I'm gonna go into the. Oop, that's not right. There we go.
Yeah. Here's the thing. How many more times can we watch a match this year and say, oh, yeah, that's match of the year right there?
All of the matches. Every single one of them coming up.
Now, again, this is being taped. Last night we did the reaction with Adam Witt, and this was like a recurring joke during that reaction as we kept saying that, oh, no, this is match of the year. Or that's reaction of the year. That's
the moment of the year.
It's the moment of the year. This kept coming up. But I mean, honestly, this is a season full of that. I don't think we've had a season that has had this much. And no one being like, was it hyperbole? I can't say it.
Hyperbole.
That word.
Yeah.
Not trying to be over the top, but I mean, seriously, there's a lot of good contenders this year. And I feel like this one is right up there with them. So,
all right. Well, final thoughts, Alex. What do you got?
Hate to say I told you so, but no, I'm just kidding.
No, notice he didn't say that while Rocha was actually on with us.
Right.
Well, it was nice having Alex on the stream. We're gonna go ahead and.
I actually told it to him to his face on Monday. Actually, I have, and he was like, "Oh, makes sense. Okay."
Yeah.
And I kind of used the same thing. I was like, honestly, I feel like I'm like 95% sure you're gonna win, considering everything. You have to study all that good stuff. It's just I love me some upsets. I love Upset City. I want a direct ticket there, and so I was just like, oh my gosh, I would be low key kind of ecstatic if he would, just because we never see Ethan all that much anyway, so yeah. But yeah, it was a really great. Both matches were fantastic, and they, this one, definitely had its, controversy or potential controversy, So I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to play out, as we kind of think about it later on, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we want to wrap this thing up because we're running out of time here. So
time is going. So typically I would ask if anyone has any questions. So since this is premiering on YouTube, if y'all have any questions, feel free to drop those questions in the premiere chat, and we'll probably be in the chat there to answer those questions in the chat. So
nailed
it. Make sure y'all drop those in. Alex, if you would like to go ahead and get some plugs in.
Yeah, absolutely. I am one of the hosts of, Call to Action podcast, another Schmoedown fan podcast. So definitely check it out. I would really appreciate it. Specifically my show is called Schmobates, where we really debate and argue Schmoedown's biggest questions, best championship match of all time, who would be the best Schmoedown competitor to go on a road trip with, all that good stuff. We're actually making a bunch of new changes here coming up pretty soon. So please stay tuned for that. We'd really appreciate it. I also co-host a show called Cinema Bias with Video Drew. Oh my gosh, I love her. She's from the Dungeon. She's fantastic, where we really kind of dive into our personal biases when it comes to different movies. Like I said earlier, I have not seen Lilo and Stitch. Why? I could find out, an episode of Cinema Bias, all that good stuff. And we're going to be watching Akira here pretty soon, An Education. So a bunch of really fun movies here coming up over the next few weeks. So I hope you stay tuned.
Yep, guys, definitely check out Schmoebaits. It's fantastic. She's really done some amazing, amazing things with that overall call to action. So that's, if you have not seen it, you need to watch that.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
I'm also a big fan of Cinema Bias.
Yeah.
Why haven't you come on yet? That's the real question, Robert.
Well, it could possibly be because here on the Cinefanatics, we do have our live stream show that's every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. That is the tagline. That's where we sit around, talk about movies, have some fun, play some games. Yep, that would be what it looks like as far as the logo goes. So, yeah, we do that Tuesday nights, 9:30 p.m. Central Time on this very channel. So that would be why, to answer your question.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Okay. Also, make sure you follow us at Cinefanatics MLP on Twitter and Instagram. There's also our individual Twitter, Instagram. It's Robert Adams MLP and Chris Adams MLP. There's also Alex Max. Oh, yeah, there's those. Yeah,
they're right there.
That one, too.
We like to take it off. That way there's enough room for all of us to be on the screen. But also, we have our Patreon, patreon.com/Cinefanatics. Hop on the tiers on there. Yeah, and I'm trying to think of anything else. Yeah, continue to join us for this for the Schmoedown replay as we continue on through. We're probably like right in the singles tournament at this point, so we're gonna continue trying to do reactions to that. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So
we'll see if they all end up this long or not. I don't know. We'll see.
Smith versus Jericho will be released by then.
Yeah, in a couple of weeks. Yeah, that's gonna be a fantastic
next
match.
Week.
Essentially.
No.
Well, we don't know exactly when this is coming out, so somewhere around there. Yeah. So
27th of August.
So
I'm thinking about the Pride and Smets and Chantra and all that good stuff. My bad. I'm mixing them up.
Things are happening, guys. Tune in for all of it.
So make sure you follow us because we will be trying to get Chris Jericho and Kevin Smith on here for a reaction as well. So stay tuned.
There's a very good chance it works.
Absolutely will happen.
It's definitely going to happen.
Got my eyes all twitchy all of a sudden. So anyways, like, comment, subscribe to this channel. That's going to do it for tonight. I would like to thank our special guest, Alex Mack, for being on this really long reaction with us. So thank you for being a trooper and sticking through with us. Also, huge shout out to John Rocha again. Thank you, John, for being on here briefly and giving us that insight right there, pretty much at the moment of the match being over, to come on and let us know your immediate thoughts and reactions. That was fantastic. So as for all of us here, that's going to do it for tonight, and we will see y'all later. Everybody, have a good evening. Good night.
See ya.
Bye.